Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I love this.
My name's Jay Milne. Hashtag Glue Crew.
Our sports update deliverer, the Coon.
I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up today. You know what, Reid? You might have something.
All right, here's what's going on in the nest.
Step closer to the hollow, the devil may care. If I showed you around my heart, would you mind if I shared to show you what's wrong with me?
All right, here we go.
Go.
Hope you're having a great afternoon. Oilers practice today. Connor Brown up to the top line with McDavid and Nugent-Hopkins. You'll hear from head coach Chris Knobloch on that a little bit later on. We'll also tell you what's going on with Klingberg, who did not practice, he did practice today as he filled in for Matthias Ekholm, was a little bit under the weather, but Klingberg not expected to play tomorrow against the Detroit Red Wings. That's a 7 o'clock game at Rogers Place. We'll have coverage commencing at 6 with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Jay Milne is here. Jay, how are you doing?
Fantastic, Reid. I am doing very fantastic. It's days like this, Reid, where I get to sit across the table from you in the bullpen and hum and haw about ideas for the show that I really realize just how lucky I am.
Really, I'm sure it makes you feel very fulfilled. I know for me that's one thing that fulfills me, Jay. It also excites me when you get to learn things about your colleagues.
Oh,
and Joaquin Gage was in a movie, which you didn't know about. Now, I knew about it because he told the story on Inside Sports a few years ago. That's a show I used to host. You didn't hear the story, which makes me wonder all the times you've said, "Hey, I've been listening to you for years, buddy. I can't believe I'm going to work with you."
I can't listen to every show, Reid.
But anyway,
Jeez.
But yes, Joaquin Gage was in a movie. How old were you again, Gager? He was little. He left already. His dog probably has to go to the bathroom. It came out in 1985. Oh, no, I don't know if this is the same one. Oh, yeah, sure it is. It's called A Certain Fury, a 1985 American action/drama film starring Tatum O'Neal and Irene Cara, I'm not sure. And Gager's dad was in the film, and Peter Fonda was in the film, and Gager kind of bonded with, so Gager would have been 10 or 11. And they kind of bonded, and then there was a scene where Peter Fonda has Gager with him when something is happening in one of the scenes. I don't know if he's got him on his lap or sitting next to him. So, yes, our own walk. No, first of all, interesting enough, Gager's father was an actor, and that Gager, as a 10, 11-year-old, was in a film. It's called Certain Fury. It's got a Wikipedia page. I have not seen it. But here's the interesting thing. And we're going to tie this all together somehow in the end. Gager's dad was in a film Runaway. What year was that again? Did you look that up? 1983, I think. And that was a Tom Selleck film.
1984.
1984. So Magnum P.I. would have still been going, I think. And Tom Selleck was the hero. And Gene Simmons from Kiss played the villain. Not in makeup, by the way. That'd have been great. I'll be in the movie, but I'm wearing the Kiss makeup, all right?
Dedicated to his craft.
That's a good science. I don't know if I'd think it was a good movie now, but at the time when I was, again, 9 or 10 myself, I thought that was a pretty cool film. Selleck was pretty big. Selleck, I think, could have been in Raiders of the Lost Ark. But then he was like, I guess I'll make a B-grade science fiction film with the bass player from Kiss.
Well, it says, in the near future, a police officer specializes in malfunctioning robots. When a robot turns out to have been programmed to kill,
yes,
he begins to uncover a homicidal plot to create killer robots, and his son becomes a target.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. And so Selleck was in it.
Now, speaking of Tom Selleck.
Is there a love interest?
Of course, Cynthia Rhodes.
I don't know who that is. I don't remember that part of the film.
You got me.
And then, so Gene Simmons was in that. And then several years ago, I got to interview Gene Simmons because the Gene Simmons band was coming to Edmonton, not Kiss. He was touring with his own band.
Weren't they like jazzy?
I can't remember.
Like jazzy swing rock kind of thing?
They did kind of rock, but not Kiss type of rock. So he was available only at a certain time of day. So they asked all the talk show hosts, does anybody want to interview Gene Simmons? And nobody wanted to do it. So I said I would do it.
Who wouldn't want to interview Gene Simmons?
I don't know if they thought it didn't fit into their show. And I was like, heck, I'll do it. So I came in earlier, and I remember there was like a connection problem, and we just started the interview, and we got cut off, and then I had to sit around, and they eventually called back an hour later. So I interviewed Gene Simmons and taped it and played it on my show in the evening. And along the course of the interview, somehow it came up that I liked comic books or liked Spider-Man. And spur of the moment, Gene Simmons says, I like comics books too. And he's like, I have 5 questions for you. Let's see how much you know about comics.
No.
And he asks me questions about Spider-Man. He was like, well, you know, Stan Lee is one of the creators of Spider-Man. Who's the other? I'm like, Steve Ditko. And he's like, oh, and I think I knew that one. And then he asked me another one that I knew. And then he asked me another one that I knew. And then I think the fourth one I kind of got half because they got increasingly obscure. So
wow.
He had all this trivia on hand. But so I didn't know the whole, I obviously know about Kiss, but what was the show he was in? Where the Family Jewels or something?
Yeah.
Some not like
Gene
reality
Simmons
show.
Family Jewels.
They followed him around, and he's married to Shannon Tweed.
Yes.
Canadian.
Playboy
Playmate. But I didn't see that show. I just knew a little bit about him, that he's actually quite intelligent. And he was very sort of, like not monotone, but he's like very, like he does
very under control.
Yeah, he doesn't give anything away. And there were times I was like, hey, I'm pretty sure he's joking. And he's just total he's deadpan.
Yes.
Like, because he was serious and he answered questions and he liked talking about music. And then he would say something and I'd be like, okay, I'm pretty sure he's joking. So I would just laugh, and then he'd be like, oh, you got it, eh? Or like, yeah, I'm just having a good time. But kind of a tough interview because, you know, his pacing and his tone was not quite what I was used to. But I got to interview Gene Simmons. So sometimes when people say, because I often get asked, Jay, who's the most famous person you've interviewed? That's a standard question. Non-broadcasting people ask broadcasting people or media people. Who's the most famous person you've interviewed? Okay, well, I host sports in Edmonton. Like, there's 3 or 4 names immediately, but because you work in Edmonton, you're going to, at some point, if you do it long enough, have had a chance to interview Wayne Gretzky. Okay, like the non-current athletes. Who would be the big 3 for Edmonton sports legends to say you've interviewed?
Non-current?
Non-current, so retired Edmonton athletes. Who would be the 3 or 4 that it was like, oh, I wonder if Reid got to interview this person ever?
Wayne Gretzky,
who I have.
Probably Mark Messier,
who I have just once, I think, but I have.
And I'll throw in Warren Moon,
exactly who I was thinking, who I have a few times.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've talked to those people. So sometimes when people say, who's the most famous person you've interviewed? You know, I might say, well, I've interacted with Smitty the Welder in the Nasty Chat. I've interacted with Matt Hyman in the Nasty Chat, but I guess they're thinking, you know, athletes or famous like people. So I'd probably have to go then to Gene Simmons. He's probably the biggest, most famous non-athlete I've interviewed. Like, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, well, he's up there.
I mean, I guess Jay Onrait's on the show today. Everybody. I guess he would be up there.
I was going to say,
but Jay wouldn't be international. Gene Simmons would be pretty international. Right?
In my 99 shows worth, I would say Jay Onrait would be top of the list.
He'd be the most famous person you've interviewed?
I believe so. I mean, I guess we've had
some current NHLers on the show.
Yeah.
We've had other broadcasters and play-by-play people on the show. I guess, Jay, for you, that would be the most... I always forget to try to see things through your eyes.
Oh, thank you.
Because I'm just like, hey, we're interviewing somebody. Let's do it. And I realize you're thinking like, oh, wow, I'm actually talking to this person that I've seen on TV for several years.
Well, I mean, even having Dr. Randy Gregg on the show.
He was good.
He was incredible. Mac T.
We had Mac T on.
I mean, these are, you know, people you grew up idolizing, so to speak, right? and here you're trying to hold it together to interview them.
Yeah. So Gene Simmons would be up there, JJ in the Nasty Chat. And if you're in the Nasty Chat on YouTube, first of all, thank you. You can post messages there. And as I often say, we might read them. We might read them on air. We might not, because I know a lot of people, you guys just get chatting with each other, and we don't really need to jump in, or not everything is necessarily for on air. And give us a thumbs up if you're there as well. We're off to quite a good start with the thumbs, but I'm not saying that so you slow down. Click, 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 click. Keep clicking. Just think of that in your head. Click, 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 like a bunch of little robots from the movie Runaway walking around. You can email reid@edmontonsportstalk.com, and if you're texting, it's 780-218-9999. That's the River Cree inbox, presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 Restaurant, and where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. So here's one of my. I am not a man, as I'm sure you've noticed in the short time you know me. I am not a man with a lot of regrets. I think generally in my life I make decent decisions, and if I'm making a decision, I know why I'm making it, and if it doesn't go quite the way I want it, I don't sit there lamenting it or kicking myself. You try to learn from it.
You move on.
But I do have a broadcasting regret. I do have a broadcasting regret. I was working in Lloydminster. You heard of the town, okay?
I'm aware of it.
And there was the lead singer of a band that was big in the 1980s, fairly big in the 1980s. He was doing a solo tour, and he was playing the nightclub in Lloydminster that evening.
Which nightclub?
Probably the Cooler. I don't think it was.
Is that the one in the hotel?
That's Amigos. Amigos is the one right on the highway. The Cooler was back closer to Lakeland College. It opened while I was out there. And one of the news reporters, Stacy, was going to interview this individual, and she said, "Why don't you come with me?" And I was like, "I don't know. It's like 4:30. I got to have my sportscast ready. I don't want to do something that would let other people down, or make it seem like I'm sloughing off." So I said, "I'll get this band's greatest hits CD, and could you maybe get this person to sign it for me?" Okay. And I'm like, why didn't I go? Why didn't I go at least meet him, ask him a couple questions, see the CD being signed in person? But the cool thing was, was in October, and there's probably some people listening right now saying, "Oh, Reid, I heard this story at Inside Sports, you old fool. Get some new material." Not likely, everybody. But anyway, so I'm sitting at the sports department in Lloydminster, so it's around 5 o'clock, and the phone rings. So, "Hey, Sports, Reid here." "Hey, Reid, it's Brett." You know who it was? Brett Michaels from Poison. So he called in to get the baseball scores because the satellite on their RV wasn't working and he couldn't watch the games.
No.
So while I didn't get to interview or meet Brett Michaels, a regret I have, I did get to give him updated baseball scores from the playoffs. And we had a brief chase. "Oh, yeah, what's that series now? Oh, yeah, I thought the Cardinals were going to sweep them, and now it's 1-1. So that was kind of cool. So this all comes off of... Okay, can I change the off-topic topic? Did I change the off-topic topic?
It's not the Jay Milne show with Reid Wilkins.
Well, you had the idea for the off-topic topic, but this got me thinking. Did Hernan make a sound?
He laughed.
I like when Hernan laughs. I feel like if I get Hernan to laugh, I really must be having a good show.
That's true.
Because he will not give approval.
He will not do a fake laugh.
Or he won't.
He's not exactly the toughest nut to crack. He's generally a very happy man.
Pleasant human being. But when he laughs, you've earned it.
It is spirited.
So the off-topic topic for William Huff since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout, 780-454-4536. So we're talking about brushes with celebrity, brushes with famous people.
Yeah.
Gager got to meet Peter Fonda when he was a kid. I got to interview Gene Simmons and almost meet Brett Michaels.
I like where you're going.
We have Jay Onrait on the show. I know sometimes when people say, "I know Jay," some people think that's a big deal. So what famous Canadian would you most like to meet, and what would you ask them? Or pretend you have maybe you're doing a podcast, maybe you're hosting the Reid Wilkins show for a day. What famous Canadian would you most like to meet or interview, and give us a couple questions that you would ask them? And should we say non-sports just for fun? Because anybody could say, well, I'd like to meet Connor McDavid and ask him what it's like to skate so fast. You know what? Let's lean non-sports. No, broadcasting is okay. Sports broadcasting. So okay, let's say non-Oiler then. Let's just say non-Oiler. Because we know you all love the Oilers and you'd love to meet them. What non-Oiler, past or present, would you and a Canadian person, would you most like to meet, interview, and what would you ask them?
What a question.
Yeah. That is our off-topic topic for William Huff. So this is a fantasy one, and don't limit yourself. Don't be like, I want to say Shania Twain, but I know it'll never happen. That's the point. Something is meeting somebody that you think would never. Maybe it is Jay Onrait. Who knows? JJ jumping in. JJ's been busy the last couple of days. Michael J. Fox. That's a great one. What would you ask Michael J. Fox? Tell us. I want to know. What would you ask Michael J. Fox, JJ? Give us a question or two.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe we can role play.
And maybe we could steal some ideas for when we interview people. We can role play. I remember when I was on the set of Back to the Future, I said, so I'm in the present and I'm going to the past and then I want to get back to the present. No, Michael, back to the future because you'll then be in the past. That's my voice for someone writing their memoirs. That's the standard voice I do. Like if Kubusch wrote his memoirs, like, I remember the first day on the Jay Milne and Reid Wilkins show, I was quite perturbed by the behavior of both of them. That perturbation did not go away as I came to know them even further. No? All right. See, Ryan Reynolds? That's who's that? K-Dub says Ryan Reynolds. Smitty the welder would like to interview me. Probably just in person so we could finally hug. This is great. This is great. Spency 5 Centsy, big Jay Onrait fan. It's always a treat having Athabasca's greatest sports TV broadcaster on. Old School Nasty says, do they need to be alive still? Do we need to stipulate that?
No. You can bring them back.
You can bring them back, but give us a question or two. What would you ask this individual? So Smitty the welder can actually do it right now. He can ask me a question.
This is tougher.
I know what Smitty's going to ask me. He's like, Reid, why do I disagree with everything you say?
This is tough.
What happened?
No, it's just how do you narrow this down, you know?
That's the fun of it. That's why it's the off-topic topic. That's why we do 3 hours, so people can percolate and think. Some people are vomiting out not vomiting out. They're shooting out what they have to say right now.
Okay, my answer off the top of my head.
Oh, you have an answer?
Sure. I would want to interview Alex Trebek.
Oh, neat.
And I would ask him, I'd put him on a polygraph. I'd have a lie detector. And I'd ask him if Jeopardy is rigged.
He's not.
He couldn't lie. I don't think it's rigged, but I want to hear it from him.
Yeah, I don't think it's rigged either.
I don't think it is. How about like Peter Mansbridge, Knowlton Nash?
See, if I were gonna interview Alex Trebek, I would say did it ever get repetitive? Like, of course it got repetitive. Or I want to know, what was the most satisfying part of the job of being the Jeopardy host? And he always seemed to have the right thing to say when somebody got a horrifically wrong answer.
Do you think the proper way to phrase this question, though, is to ask? Because honestly, I would honestly say Jay Onrait would be on my list.
Well, now you've done it, though.
No. But here's the thing. Instead of saying you'd interview them, what if you just went to a little hole-in-the-wall dive bar
you guys have
and had a beer?
A 5-minute chat with them even.
Right? So
Yeah.
It's not so...
You see them in public, you get to have a quick banter with them.
Yeah.
But you got to make it count. It's not, you have half an hour.
No, it's got to be to the point.
Right.
Wow. This is... that was a good one. Old School Nasty, John Candy. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Like, did you actually eat the old 59er?
Was that from the Great Outdoors?
The Great Outdoors or whatever it was. 96er, the old 96er. That's what it was.
Was that how big it was?
96
Is that 12 pounds? No. 8 pounds. No, that's neither.
Apparently, we have a 40-ounce steak coming. When?
What's maybe
Tomorrow?
Monday?
Tomorrow?
No, I think it's next week. When's the steak coming, Matthew? You know what? I'd like to interview Matthew Awanek and ask him why he doesn't get off his ass and do something around here.
Whoa!
Oh.
This is like an anaconda taking down a pig.
Is that more? That's the Dave J. Is that the pig one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Jasmine would like to interview Drake. He would probably invite you on his PJ or to sit courtside. What is a PJ?
Boo! You suck!
Drake?
The only PJ I know of are pajamas. What is his PJ?
Private jet.
Private jet.
Oh, private jet.
Yeah.
Would he have BS on it? Bottle service.
Maybe, brah.
Maybe some people would like to interview Jasmine.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Martin says this in the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. Years ago, Reid was jokingly frustrated that people were asking for Jay Onrait's autograph. So I asked Reid to mail me his autograph. And a couple of weeks later, I found a Reid Wilkins autograph in my mailbox. Do you remember this?
I do not remember that. What year was that?
He said years ago. That is hilarious.
I seriously do not remember that. I wonder if it was on one of those postcard style promo pieces we got made at Ched? Because for a while we were doing things, they were kind of the size of postcards, and it would be, my picture or Jay Lynn's picture or whoever, and you could sign them for people. So,
fun.
So over the years, I probably signed 50 of them, and probably 45
what
for,
I'd give for one of
friends
those.
and colleagues.
What I'd give for a signed Reid Wilkins postcard. I might make one.
We should do something
We
like
should
that
do
here.
something like that, and we could send them out to our nasties.
Yeah, it'd be part of the thing. Or when people came in, we could just say, "Oh, hey, thanks for dropping by," and then that's what I would write on it. Like James, thanks for dropping by. Reid. Now I'm thinking of just random stories. That's
okay.
There was this pharmacy I used to get stuff at my medication at in Lloydminster, and the guy had a picture of Nealon Green.
No way.
Hanging behind the counter, and it was signed, but you couldn't see it, and it looked like it had like a message on it. And obviously I was a season ticket holder, still am, and Nealon was exciting.
So
for a
Nealon
while.
Green from the Eskimos days.
Yes, yeah, and he was a current player. So finally, I said, "Hey, what's the story with the signed Nealon Green picture?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Well, right there, you have the signed Nealon Green picture." Oh, is that who that is? Oh, I don't know. I just went to a game with my friend, and he signed that promo poster for me. And he hung it up in his pharmacy.
Oh, my.
That's like the weirdest thing ever. Okay, what are we doing today? Oh, okay, Jay Onrait's on the show. We'll have an update from Oilers practice. You're going to hear some clips from head coach Chris Knobloch. And, Shawn Belle, our own Shawn Belle from Hello Hockey is on the show. It's going to be fun. We want to hear from you. River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. Email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Continue chatting and clicking the thumbs up on YouTube and in the nasty chat. We're on a good pace, but don't slow down. If you haven't clicked. If you click right now, we'd have an incredible total. Zachary Kubusch, I have made you wait for your sports update. I am an inconsiderate and non-conscientious colleague. I give you the mic.
There's 5 games in the NHL, seeing Drew Doughty slotting back in for the Kings against the Panthers. Vancouver on the road in Nashville. Utah hosting Pittsburgh, and the Wild playing the Maple Leafs. Meanwhile, St. Louis is placing Brandon Saad on unconditional waivers for mutual contract termination. And for the Kraken, Philip Grubauer hits the waiver wire for purpose of reassignment to the AHL. And out in Montreal, Caden Gooley is sidelined indefinitely after he underwent surgery this morning to repair a lacerated quad he sustained last night when crashing into the boards. And in Philly, Samuel Ersson has been named to Team Sweden at the Four Nations face-off to replace the injured Jacob Markstrom of the Devils, with Philly and New Jersey dropping the puck tonight. In the CFL, Luke Burton-Cron and the Elks have agreed to a 2-year extension, with Burton-Cron suiting up in all 18 games last season. Down south, Toronto battles Washington. The Nuggets and Knicks throw down, while the Mavericks and Pelicans butt heads, having 11 games around the NBA. This sports update is brought to you by Sit and Sleep. Transform your home at a fraction of the cost during Sit and Sleep's winter clearance event. From massive discounts on major sleep brands to unbeatable deals on Canadian-made custom furniture, Sit and Sleep's winter clearance event is a can't miss. Plus, enjoy free local white glove delivery and special financing offers to help you bring home the best. Visit Sit and Sleep today in South Common, next to Planet Fitness. The Oil Understood brings us back on the other side of the break here on the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubusch.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
The grand opening sale at Sit and Sleep is almost over. This is your last chance to take advantage of the special introductory sale prices on all mattresses. Stop in today for a free pressure point scan using cutting-edge technology so sleepologists can identify the perfect mattress for you. Right now, get free local delivery on any mattress over $7.99 and receive a free bamboo cooling mattress protector. Enjoy grand opening savings with every mattress on sale. Join us on location today for the final celebrations at Sit and Sleep in South Common next to Planet Fitness. Don't miss out the grand opening sale ends soon.
All right. Thanks for the countdown, Coop. Matt Hyman in the Nasty Chat would like to interview Alexander Graham Bell, and I'd ask him how he got this number. That's pretty good. Derek V would like to interview Derek Dutition. Would love to hear his story and the places he's been on his way up to TSN. Also would ask him the stops he made at different media places during his career. Pretty good. Coquelin says, Reid, I know that you interned under Jay Onrait. How did it come that you became so close? No crazy story there. We just got along. And really a lot of it was just having weird senses of humor and doing funny characters and voices while we were watching games in the Saskatoon Global Sports Department or getting ready for shows. And we started hanging out outside of work a little bit and then just stayed in touch. And that's it. And now I basically have I've leveraged the friendship into having him on my show, which absolutely does him no benefit at all. He's not trying to push a book. People know when his show is on. I'm the only one that benefits from it now.
Yes. That is true.
Jay totally agrees. The off-topic topic for William Huff is, which famous Canadian, living or deceased, would you like to have a quick chat with? And what would you ask? Or what would you want to know? But for the sake of variety and maybe interest, non-Oilers. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Non-Oilers and non-past Oilers too. Because I know somebody put in Glenn Sather, which would be cool, but it's just the Oilers are so big try to think outside of that box. I did not work on Jay's podcast. When I met Jay, there were not podcasts in 1999. Were there podcasts in 1999? That started.
I don't think so.
That started with Dan when he was at TSN, and I would have been working in Lloyd. I think they started their podcast, or maybe when I was back in Edmonton. Chris D would like to interview Chris G and ask him how his LA trip went. Oh my, that is good. That is.
Unfortunately, there's some scumbags I'd like to interview too.
What?
And call them out.
Oh,
why do you do this? Why do you take these massive raises every year and dividends?
Oh, politicians. You just like to verbally attack politicians.
No, not politicians. I can't say for fear that I might get canceled or.
Well, you're not going to get canceled.
Well, I don't know. Maybe what if?
Besides, you don't have a political stance. You hate all politicians equally.
Every one of them equal. Yeah, they're all.
We got some good ones in here.
Yeah, they are good. This one comes in from Josh. He says, "Hey Jay, our daughters are doing battle in basketball tonight."
Woo! His daughters
playing my daughter.
Your daughter.
Well, I have 2 games.
Are you going to
tonight.
make it to the game?
I'll be late for the first one, but then I'll be there for the second one. Have a great day, Hernan.
See you, Hernan.
Well, come say hi to me, Josh. Introduce yourself. I'd love to meet you and then watch my daughter kick your daughter's ass.
Oh my! Here we go.
What? I can't not say that. I'm a proud papa.
Big Uke would like to interview Dan Aykroyd. Question about what it was like wearing a cone head. And what was it like to be a Ghostbuster? Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Those are good. This one comes in. Jim Carrey, and I would want to know about his move from actor to artist/activist.
Because he doesn't act very much anymore. Though he comes
Only
out
because he needs the money.
Comes out of retirement to get double-digit millions. What is he in? Not Super Mario. The Sonic
the Hedgehog.
Little speedy guy.
Yeah, my daughters just watched that.
The new one.
They loved it.
Yeah, well, they've made 3 now, so the kid must.
I think they watched
found
the first
their audience.
one.
Yeah, and I don't mind that.
But like they were enamored with it. I kind of laughed because I'm like, this awkward seeing Jim Carrey, who I hold up to a high standard.
Yeah,
I think he's one of the greatest Canadian actors in my opinion, doing this role.
I don't know what he'd be like to interview. Because I've seen some things where he's not combative, but he's not warm either, per se. And I think maybe that's just.
Are you getting the real Jim Carrey or not?
I mean, I can't imagine what it would be like to be so famous. I mean, during his peak, he was one of the biggest stars in the world, right? And I think you have to also protect yourself and be careful how you spend your time and money because there are people looking to take advantage of you. But
yeah, and he's quite outspoken about Hollywood, right, as well. So there's.
Oh, right, yeah.
I think he's very protective about that. Martin's back in the River Cree inbox, the fella you sent your autograph to.
Okay.
He says it was around 2016.
Makes sense.
And it was on a blank piece of paper like Reid had just grabbed it from the printer.
Did I write a message?
I don't know.
I wonder if he still has it. That's funny. That does sound like something I would do, but I would have had to ask for his address. I wonder if he thought that was creepy.
Oh, this is a good one. Comes in from a bootski. I would ask Randy Bachman which band he thought was better, the Guess Who or the Bachman Turner Overdrive? BTO. Yeah. He'd be ready to make a strong argument for BTO. I would agree.
If I were to talk to Jim Carrey, I'd want to know. Again, we're kind of, you got time for 2 or 3 questions or to bring something up. I'd want to know about The Truman Show, which I think is one of the greatest movies ever made and one of his greatest performances. It just to me, that movie just works on every level and perhaps was a sign of things to come in terms of television and reality television and blurring the line between fact and fiction and stuff like that. People are just like, shut up, Reid. All right. We'll do the Oil Understood at 4 o'clock. We'll shuffle things around. I can tell you, here's how the Oilers lined up today. Nothing earth-shattering for them, I guess. Well, then again, I'm so numb to line combinations at this point in my career.
What do they even mean, Reid?
David between Nuge and Brown. Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Has anybody come up with a nickname for that line?
Okay, what is it?
Draisaitl, Podkolzin, and Arvidsson.
Ooh, Reid. This is another off topic.
This is another off topic.
It's not really off topic. This is a topic.
This is an actual topic. What nickname do we give the Dry, Podkolzin, Arvidsson line? So I don't have to read out all three names every time they're together. So I could be doing the lines and I could say 97 with Nugent Brown. Then it's the, blank line, and then Skinner, whatever.
How about the making out or kissing line? PDA, public displays of affection.
That's not bad.
Hey, the kissing bandits.
The PDA line, yeah.
PDA line. Kissing bandits. I like that.
Skinner, Henrique, and Hyman. So Hyman remaining in that slot for now. Perry, Janmark, and Philp. So Kapanen and Ekholm didn't practice because of illness. We'll play the clip later on. Jay and I were listening to it, and maybe some of you have already listened to Knobloch's availability. It doesn't sound like Jeff Skinner is going to play tomorrow. Based on what, would you agree with that? Based on how Knobloch was complimenting him and then saying, but
we're not changing the lines.
Someone sits out, and we're not sure what the lineup's going to be tomorrow. And then with no Ekholm, so Ekholm and Kapanen ill today, so we'd expect them to be available tomorrow. They went Nurse with Bouchard, Stetcher with Emberson, and Kulak with Klingberg. With Klingberg, it just remains they want him to play before the break, and it doesn't sound like he'll play tomorrow.
Ooh, and I do have a buying or selling pertaining to John Klingberg directed towards you.
Okay, that's fine by me. I'm here.
Are you?
I think so.
Here till 6?
But allegedly, I'm going to be here till 6 o'clock in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown, personal injury law firm, the heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com. Book your private consultation today. See, I think the question I would ask Jim Carrey is, did you change your preparation for a overtly comedic character like Ace Ventura versus a somewhat tragic character like Truman in The Truman Show, though there are still elements of comedy in that movie? Or do you just prepare the character the same? You know what I mean? It's just, okay, I'm playing this character. In a comedy, I go more over the top. I don't know. That to me, that'd be interesting. Maybe, probably just to me.
I'd have to know more about the Grinch. When he was the Grinch.
Oh, because wasn't his makeup process extremely elaborate, even difficult?
Yes.
Like painful?
And it was every day. Half the day would be spent in the makeup chair. Can you imagine that? It would drive a guy bonkers.
All right, give us a thumbs up if you're in YouTube on the Nasty Chat. Appreciate the comments coming in there. I'm glad people are embracing the lighter and more entertaining topics of the show today. We'll get to that Knobloch and Leon Draisaitl audio a little bit later on. Our very own Shawn Belle is going to check in after this sports update from Zachary Kubusch.
The NHL sees the Maple Leafs taking on the Wild, the Pens battling the Hockey Club, the Canucks and Predators dropping the puck while Drew Doughty makes his return for the Kings when they challenge the Panthers. And in Philly, Samuel Ersson of the Flyers has been named to Team Sweden at the Four Nations Face-Off, with New Jersey's Jacob Markstrom out of the tournament due to injury. And after he lacerated his quad when crashing into the boards in yesterday's game, Caden Gooley has undergone surgery this morning and will be out indefinitely for the Habs. Elsewhere, Philip Grubauer of the Kraken waits to pass through the waiver wire to report to the AHL, while Brandon Saad and the Blues have agreed to mutually terminate his contract, with Saad having the remainder of this season as well as next season under contract at $4.5 million. In the CFL, Luke Burton Cron and the Elks have re-upped to a 2-year extension, with Burton Cron suiting up in all 18 games last year, and 11 games dot the NBA slate, including the Raptors butting heads against the Wizards. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. Get treated like a pro with their highly skilled crew. And whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance your performance, Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy uses the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Find them online at AdvantageSportMed.com. Shawn Belle joins us on the other side of the break here on the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of Injury Law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences. Plus, all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom. And from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know. Hope you're having a great afternoon. Our off-topic for William Huff. Which Canadian, living or deceased, would you most like to meet and have a brief chat with? And what would you try to talk to this person about? Let's do non-Edmonton Oilers for that, just for a little bit of variety. And portions of this hour presented by the Canadian Brewhouse. Wing Wednesdays. Is today Wednesday?
Yes.
That means it's currently, today is a Wing Wednesday at the CBH. Unbeatable. Only 69 cents each and a mountain of flavors to savor. Flavor of the month in January, passion fruit habanero. Do that wing thing every Wednesday.
Doesn't get much better than that.
Do you have a couple people? Sean, we're going to ask you before we'll give him 30 seconds to think about it. Which Canadian, non-Oiler, past or present, living or deceased, would Shawn Belle like to meet and have a chat with?
The real not so Slim Shady says, I'd like to interview the Baja men and ask them who let the dogs out.
Were they Canadian?
I don't know. And Scott on a hotel balcony in Beaumont is back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, good to hear from you. This isn't really on topic, but I once won a canned ham t-shirt, but I was too nervous to meet Reid, so I never picked it up.
There are probably no. Why would you not go? I wasn't the one giving them out, by the way. I wasn't sitting in the Ched reception area waiting for the.
Oh, you're here,
people. No, it would be one of the receptionists who would give. Occasionally, I might run into somebody, but generally you came in, got your canned ham T-shirt, and left.
He does add Gord Downey,
and he's come up a couple times.
And you know what? If you're excited for this interview with, what would be one of, Canadians' greatest in Shawn Belle, hammer the thumbs up for Bellsy.
All right,
Shawn
bring him in, Coop. Bellsy, good to see you. Thanks for doing this. By the way, we're going to try to have you on the show more often because you are a underutilized asset for the Reid Wilkins show.
Thank you so much, Reid. I appreciate that big time.
All right.
Far too kind. Kind.
Where are you, by the way? What's going on?
I'm at the lovely confines of Silent Ice Center right now, just watching our 14U team practice. Chris Joseph on the ice right now with Tanner Hickey. So they actually literally just wrapped up, so it won't be too noisy in here.
No, that's okay. We're not getting too much background. We'll start with that fun question. Which Canadian, like we had to sort of narrow it down. So we said, which Canadian, living or deceased, and Jay said it doesn't have to be an interview, but somebody you might run into, get to have a 3-minute chat with, and what would you try to get out of that? And we said, don't do an Oiler because that's too easy in this town. Who's yours?
That's obviously way too easy. But I'm going to go Donovan Bailey as one.
Yes.
I've got a couple. Because Donovan Bailey, to me, like, he kind of put Canadian sprinting on the map. Right? Like, it was, people would watch and they would enjoy what was going on with sprinting because there were some legit greats. But it wasn't until Donovan Bailey, at least in my opinion, came along and then all of a sudden was like setting records and trash talking the Americans. To me, I'm like, that is unbelievable. So he'd be number one on my list. And then I'm actually going to go a hockey player and actually two more. Can I do two more?
Yes.
I'm going to go Terry Fox.
Oh,
because what an inspirational story that is. And then my last hockey player is Gordie Howe.
That's a pretty good list. What would you ask Terry Fox?
Like, what inspired him to do what he did? Because obviously we know, what he was going through, but to decide to run across all of Canada, like there must be something really, really deep behind that, to be able to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to go from one end of Canada all the way to the other every single day, because most people would never even remotely think about doing something like that.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a really, really interesting story to kind of hear how it started.
Those are great suggestions. Keep everybody's coming in here to the Nasty Chatter, the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. Okay, I got a question for you, Shawn, because you know what it's like on this station and all the shows. We gotta. I'll hold it up. I gotta go over the line combinations from practice. I printed them up, and often one of Tom or me are at a practice or a morning skate. So now today, as I mentioned, Ekholm and Kapanen 6, so they're not in the rotation. But can you take us through all the hockey you played, different teams, different leagues, different levels, when you were a player? Where is this posted in the dressing room? How do players react for it? Like, does every Oilers forward, whether they admit it or not, secretly show up to the rink? Wonder if I'm with Connor today, even if they know there's not a snowball. What's it like with this information for players?
Well, I'm going to put this into two categories. So when you're in the minors, for example, it's posted kind of anywhere there's a lineup it's posted. And obviously, as a competitor, you walk in and you look you see where your name is, and you're like, I'm on the fourth line. Like, that sucks. I should probably do something to improve that. So there's a little bit of competitiveness there and a little bit of fire to that. But like when you're in the NHL, you walk into the dressing room, and for the most part, you kind of know your jerseys are already hanging up. It's according to color. So like there's a little bit of like, oh, okay, I know where I slot. So I think, from that standpoint, there's a little bit more professionalism there. And even if it's on the wall, I think they're like, oh, okay, this is cool. I get to practice with Connor today. But the reality is, come game time, I'm probably not going to be with Connor anyway. So, yeah, sweet. I'm happy today.
Bellsy, we're talking about, who you would interview as a Canadian and how would you do it and what questions would you ask? And I'm going to ask you a real interview-like question here because I want to know. and Reid's always said, Jay, if you want to know, ask it, because there's other people out there that might want to know the same thing. And I've asked this to other, professional athletes that we've had on the show. And in your instance in particular, at what age did you know, or did it become a real possibility that you could play hockey professionally?
That's actually a great question. I would say after my 16-year-old year in Tri-City. Was getting a lot of fanfare, ended up being part of I think it was at that time was part of the Four Nations Cup, which is now the Ivan Hlinka. And that's where actually I met a lot of the guys that I ended up playing with on, those 05 teams, Team Canada. So that would have been kind of the first time that I was really starting to get into I could probably play pro hockey. Actually, let me rephrase that. U17 would have been my 17-year-old year would have been when I got into all that stuff. And that would have been the time where I truly thought, okay, this would be the time. So like it just started, it all kind of came together at one time. There was never a point where I was just like, you know what, I'm going to be a pro before, I hit the WHL. I just think it started to snowball, with making Team Canada for the Four Nations, being part of like kind of the draft series, where it was the WHL versus Russia at the time, just doing the combine, like all that stuff just started to be like, oh, okay, I think I have a legitimate shot at this. But at the same time, I really didn't have an idea, where was I going to go in the draft? Because I was all over the place. And to start the year, I was actually ranked extremely high. And then as the season went on, I started to slip a little bit more because our team in Tri-City went through two 12-game losing streaks, and like none of us were playing good. And so like my stock fell a lot. And so it was just, it was hard. But I would say after that first season in the dub, it was when I started to get a little bit more traction.
Belsey, what age group are you coaching right now?
I'm coaching 18U, which are U18, whatever you want to call it. So that's like one step away from junior hockey. So I think for a lot of these guys, because I think I know the next question to this is, do they realize that the next year is going to be a business and, they can maybe have a little bit more of a runway to become a pro? I would say that a lot of players at my level, they hit a crossroads. Usually if they're in their third year of U18 hockey, at some point throughout the year, they hit a crossroad. And that crossroad is, am I getting love from junior teams? Have I been signed? And if not, do I need to just go to school? And because I think it's hard for a lot of players because they see their buddies and they see their family and different guys making it to the next level. And then they're like, well, we want that too. But what they fail to realize is that there's a lot of like little steps in between what they want to achieve versus how to get to that next step.
We had John Robson on yesterday from The Athletic, and I'm not sure if you've read this article that came out, but essentially it was gone are the days of going out for beers with the boys and going out as a team and doing team bonding, and now enters in a more recluse area or stage where Mitch Marner, for example, would go to his hotel room in the dark but he'd play video games and be connected to his teammates that way. And the rise of use of cannabis, instead of, using sleeping pills or painkillers, the use of cannabis. For your team in specific, cannabis aside, but I mean the team camaraderie point where you guys are on a road trip. Are the fellas still in the back, playing A-hole or some group card games, or are they in the back with their heads buried in their phones playing Fortnite? And what do you think of that? What do you think of the new norm for team bonding, so to speak?
I would say that they're doing all the above. Hopefully they're not doing cannabis at my level. But with that being said, there is guys that, LaRock, for example, his dad is, played for a long time, a little bit on the old school side. So a guy like him, he'll go try to start up a card game. But then some of these other guys that maybe don't have parents that played pro, they're all over Fortnite. So like we have a group chat where I try to have some communication with my players. So instead of me trying to knock on every single door and be like, hey, by the way, there's a team meal or something going on, I just throw it in the group chat because they all have their phones on. But I can see when they start to want to play Fortnite like that, group chat will not stop buzzing. And like I kind of want to chime in and be like, man, it would suck to be on a road trip and just go hang out in somebody's room. But realistically, they don't really want to do that anyway. They'd rather play Fortnite, and that's how they're going to bond. And to each their own. For me, I would never want to do it that way. Like, I'd prefer to be in the same room with the boys and hanging out, and because I think there's something to be said about that personal side where you're starting to, you know, like you're close to each other and you can have some different conversations and you're chirping each other. You just build a different bond. And, you know, the game's changed significantly, and it's not so much about the team anymore as much it is to your brand. And I think that's part of it as well, because you're seeing a little bit of that come into the game, especially on the hockey side. It's been there on the basketball side. It's been there on the football side. So brand is a big thing. And so guys they do their own thing, and they don't want to, they're not as tight team-wise anymore.
EST Shawn Belle joining us this afternoon on the Reid Wilkins Show. Okay, I know we're tight for time. I want to throw a couple Oilers-specific ones at you. This isn't more of a question. It's just my observation, and you can react to it or refute it or expand on it. A long stretch of good play here, really since early November, and to me, Sean, like repeatable, consistent. They're not winning, quote unquote, by accident. It's not, well, if your goalie's not .960, you lose. If your power, like they just, to me, I always use this term. They've become sort of that figure it out type of team. What do we need to do tonight? And I think that's a very positive sign and a sign of a very mature club.
Yeah, I would agree with you. It's nice that they've been able to start to do that, because I think for a long time, you know, fans were always clamoring, and especially media were always talking about it, being like, when will they figure it out? When will they start to be that team that bend and doesn't break and still finds ways to win games? And that's what they're doing. And part of, you know, the last, let's call it 7 years, you've seen that maturation process unfold right in front of your eyes, because now they're winning those games that they would have lost before. Even last year, like, there's been games where this year I don't think they played their best and they still win that game, where last year they might have lost a game. So, you know, I think they're coming into their own. I think they're a formidable team. I think they're being led obviously by their superstars, which is fantastic, but there's other pieces that are stepping up and being a factor. And I don't necessarily mean that they're being a factor by putting up points all the time, but when they're out on the ice, they're a factor on the ice. A la Perry, you know, what he does with Hughes, for example, he scores that big goal from time to time. He has a fight from time to time. Like, he just does stuff that he gets on the scoreboard and he becomes a factor. And I find that more and more players for the Oilers are doing that, and it's translating to wins.
No, nothing from the team on Klingberg, but it sounds like, I think Drager reported this morning, it sounds like a Saturday debut. What is your message to our nasties? Realistic expectations for Klingberg?
Just baby steps, gentlemen and ladies, baby steps. He hasn't played in a long time, and he's got some new hips. He's got to iron those bad boys out, and just temper your expectations, because just in my opinion, he's not coming in and he's not going to be given the keys to the Ferrari to basically run the power play for the Edmonton Oilers. He's going to work his way into the lineup. If he plays good, he's going to get a little bit more, and that's what they're trying to figure out, to see where he's at. So don't expect him to come in here and be logging 30 minutes on the blue line.
Sean, incredible appearance. Like I said, we're going to be asking you / bugging you more often. You know how I behave.
Yeah, the two of you together, trouble.
No, thanks for doing this. Hello Hockey, of course, with Tom, 10 a.m.
Thanks,
Saturday
Bellsy.
here on Edmonton Sports Talk. We'll see you soon, my friend.
Anytime. See you, boys.
Shawn Belle, check it in. Good stuff with him. Man, I feel like we covered a lot with him. I like what he said about Klingberg, and I just want to remind people of something here, and this will irritate some people. John Klingberg is not here to replace Evan Bouchard in neither the short nor the long term. Like, I still see this, like, so if Klingberg plays well, they can trade Bouchard? No. Sorry. It's not how I see it.
There is something that Klinger, we'll get into it.
Klinger. Are we just going to call him Klinger? Go straight to the nickname?
Klingon. Wasn't it Klingon something on Star Wars?
Star Trek has Klingons. Yes.
I knew it was Star Trek. I just had to
right.
say it.
All right.
Come on, Reid. Hey, okay, hang on. Before we go to break here, Box Pounder, or Box Numberer, as you like to say, sent a limerick yesterday. And
okay.
I had it on the limerick list, and I never got to it.
Okay.
And I apologize after the show. So, Koob, hit the music. And you know you've hit that echelon like Big Uke has when people are writing limericks about him. So this one from box number for Big Uke. Big Uke can write poems in a blink. We'd all like to buy him a drink. He says, you can see, I'm really pretty. And not as Uke as you think.
That's pretty good.
Well done.
That's pretty good for
Well
Box Pounder. Keep giving us the thumbs up on YouTube. If everybody just did it now, we would already be easily in Word of the Day category. So let's rally here over the next few minutes. We're 1 hour into the show. We're with you until 6 o'clock. We got a break. We got the Coop. We got some Oilers clips. We have Jay Onrait all ahead.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Your home for live music and great performances is
the River Cree Resort and Casino.
On the patio, there's whiskey in the jar.
March 14th, don't miss the Kings of Celtic. The legendary Irish Rovers play the venue at the River Cree.
Hey boys, sing us a song. One of the old ones and we sing along.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino.
Excitement.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Play more tables and games.
Play more tables and games. Make the most of your bad game. Oh, you want to, you need to, you know just what you've got to do. It's time to add some fun to your life. Make the most of your bad game. Play more tables and games.
PlayMoreGames.ca.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Drew Doughty makes his season debut for the Kings when LA visits Florida to take on the Panthers. And for their games, the NHL slate with the Canucks battling the Predators, the Wild facing the Maple Leafs, the Pens dropping the puck against the Hockey Club, and New Jersey hosting Philly with Samuel Ersson of the Flyers being named as Jacob Markstrom's replacement on Team Sweden at the upcoming Four Nations face-off. And back in Utah, the Hockey Club have picked their three names for the permanent branding of the club, with the final names being Mammoth, Wasatch, and Hockey Club. And from Calgary, the Oil Kings challenge the Hitmen. Meanwhile, Tri-City is on the road in Kamloops. The Raiders play the Pats, and the Rebels meet the Wheat Kings, seeing 5 games in the WHL. And for the Elks, 25-year-old long snapper Luke Burton Cron has signed a 2-year extension with the Green and Gold after he suited up in all 18 games last season. And on the court, the Raptors are back in action against the Wizards, having 11 games in the association. I'm Zachary Kubusch. That was your sports update. The second hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Something under my skin, and the itch won't go away. It's my original.
All right, thanks for joining us this afternoon, 5 minutes after 4. Remember to subscribe to Edmonton Sports Talk on YouTube or encourage other people in your life to do so. You can get us on iHeartRadio or on TuneIn, the apps for streaming audio, edmontonsportstalk.com. Subscribe to wherever you get your podcasts, subscribe to this show and our other shows, The Nielsen Show, EST Afternoons with Joaquin Gage and Hernan Salas, the Oil Stream, Two Guys and a Goalie, The Hangout. Subscribe to all those shows through your podcast provider as well, which we would really appreciate as we continue to build the station. It's fun doing so, and we want to keep doing it. We had a staff meeting last night, and I suggested, and so I feel as if some people thought it was a weird suggestion, though Dustin said that's a good idea because we were getting pizza from Boston Pizza Westgate. We got some pizza and wings. Excellent stuff, right?
Yes.
And I said, Dustin, is there going to be pop?
Yeah.
He's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, maybe just a bottle, like a 2-liter of Coke and a 2-liter of root beer or Sprite or something.
You were adamant on the root beer.
I was saying root beer. Well, what's wrong with having root beer?
Nothing.
And Dustin was like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. And I could see other people kind of giving me this weird look. Like, what's Reid of the... Is it not common, though, to have some pop available when there's a staff function?
It's usually the way most staff meetings have gone have been during the day. So it'd be water and the odd beer. But pop has never come into the, the equation.
There's no pop machine here in this building. I just had some pop that went down the wrong pipe.
Pop, yeah.
Hence
my
pop
voice was
it's
fine.
coming back quickly. Yeah, so we got some pop.
Well,
Other
now we
people
have
had
pop,
some, and now we're having
now
a
we
little
had
glass of pop during the show.
A little spritz of Sprite.
To me, it's perfectly normal to have a little bit of... I'm not a big pop drinker, but we're just having small little glasses
I
to
never drink
cleanse the palate.
Pop, other than like if I'm really craving, sometimes you just need like
like Coke could be really refreshing.
Yes, just a good 3-ounce cup of Coke.
Yeah, like we're not going to sit and drink a 2-liter and have our teeth fall out.
I would blow up.
Imagine if our teeth started falling out on air.
Oh,
that'd be straight out of The Substance, everybody, which I finally watched.
That would be awkward.
Barry the Cheater says Dr. Pepper. Aha, an acceptable choice. LOL. Our off-topic topic for William Huff. Which famous Canadian, not an Edmonton Oiler, living or deceased, would you most like to talk to, have a quick interview with? Mike, the Michigan fan. This is a good one. I were to interview James Naismith. First question, who is the GOAT? And then he put in brackets, Michael Jordan, obviously. And what sounded fun about putting a ball in a basket hanging in the air? That's pretty good. And is it Janias, the other one? Janias McKay? Am I saying that right? I don't know if I've seen that in
I
there
haven't
before.
seen that handle, no.
I always wanted to talk with Tom, and I got the chance to when I was at a BP's event. I was curious about the operations of the show and how cool it is to know the players, which we don't really know them so much.
You know them more than most.
Okay.
Fair to say. But you don't know them. You don't know
I
them.
know what it's like to be scowled at by Leon Draisaitl.
Yes. Yes, you do. Caster 1990 says, no pop. I think you have an office of alcoholics.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either. What's wrong with having a frosty cold beverage after a hard day's work? Right?
Nothing's wrong with that.
Nothing.
Continue to give us a thumbs up on YouTube and however else you're streaming the show. We appreciate it. Or if you're getting us on podcast, a hello from the past to you in the future. Portions of this hour presented by Canadian Brewhouse. You can book your party at the CBH today. It's your ultimate destination for events, parties, fundraisers, and more. Come celebrate at the Canadian Brewhouse. Visit and book now at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. I've seen some people throwing in and Kub mentioned it, the finalists, is that what they're called? The final 3 for the Utah, name of the Utah Hockey. We will get into that. We'll do that a little bit later, though. We want to get to the Oilers stuff in a couple of minutes. Soon as Coop comes back. We're going to have to set up that system so I can play clips off my computer that Dustin was talking about.
Well,
I was all ready to go to the clips, and then Coop's just like, no, I'm just going to go now.
Well, see, he's on air from 1 till 6.
He's a busy guy.
And he rarely can leave the seat. But when he does, he's usually going to heat up his lunch.
Right, which is fine.
And he comes back and he'll eat it in here.
Right.
But I do find that it is at inopportune times.
The timing's questionable.
Timing is questionable.
Yeah.
Should we let's just sit here.
No, because that'll be weird for people. We're weird enough.
But that would really be weird.
I want to remind people, though, we have a lot of fun we have a lot of fun here at the station in general. And when we say to hit the thumbs up on YouTube, it's not just so we can sit there and say, oh, look, we got a cool number. First of all, it helps that however this algorithm works on YouTube, that they're like, oh, this guy is liking this channel, and this other person watches similar stuff on YouTube, so why don't we suggest Edmonton Sports Talk to person number 2? So it helps us that way, and then it helps us be educational as well, because the higher we get, the more words of the day we do, and we learn more about grammar and spelling and language, which is fun for me anyway.
Well, and speaking of the staff meeting, it was also brought up that, and obviously a lot of people are doing this, myself included. I'll go listen to the morning show, for instance. Sometimes I'd like to listen to the first hour of the morning show on my way in, because that's usually the one I miss. If I'm up at 6, I'm usually busy doing stuff or driving kids around. But I'll listen to that, and it's always on my phone on podcast form, because I, subscribe to and follow all of the shows. It's there. You're ready to go. So if you haven't subscribed to the Reid Wilkins Show, wherever your provider is of podcasts, do so now.
Yeah.
And do so on your parents' phone, your wife's phone, your children's phone, your grandparents' phone. Heck, take the phones over when you're at the bar. Walk up to strangers.
Go up to Mike Babcock and say, hey, Mike, can I see your phone?
Maddie, see, this is the coup.
Put it on Edmonton Sports
Coup's
Talk.
in the nasty chat. So you aren't listening to the Hangout. Cool. Iwanek. Iwanek knows I listen to the Hangout.
Yeah, you're on the Hangout.
I always text that persnickety person all the time. He knows that. He's just being extra. Well, he was in a little bit of a mood today. Hey?
Kuba, with your permission, can we get to some Oilers audio? All right. We're going to be doing the GCL Diesel Oil Understood. GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel Understood.
Hey, there he is.
Who's there? Do we have the winner who got the Mark Lamb mystery? Oh, is that Rip City?
Rip City
Steps here. Awesome.
Wow. Care to say, make any smart-ass comments in person, Rip?
No, he's good. All right. So, the Oilers lines at practice today. Again, McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, and Brown. The PDA line. Podkolzin, Draisaitl, and Arvidsson. Henrique with Skinner and Hyman. We'll talk more about that later. Janmark with Perry and Philp. Nurse with Bouchard. Stetcher with Emberson. Kulak with Klingberg. Skinner and Pickard, obviously, the goalies. Ekholm and Kapanen didn't practice. They are sick, so I would expect them to be available for the game tomorrow. So what about getting Klingberg into the lineup? Here's head coach Chris Knobloch.
I think it's important to get as many games as possible. With I believe we have 5 games until the break, and then we take that 2-week break where obviously we don't have any games, and then we got a short period of time before the trade deadline, and we'd like to have as many games as possible. But that being said, we don't want to put him in the lineup if he's not ready. So we'll just, like I said, we're just taking that day by day.
A lot of speculation. It'll be a Saturday Edmonton Oilers debut for John Klingberg. Makes sense. Didn't you threw that? That was your pick right away.
Right away. The old rematch against the former squad.
He's very briefly a Toronto Maple Leaf, but yes, it is a former squad. Yeah. Knobloch commenting on having Connor Brown on McDavid's line today.
Connor's been playing really well. The goal scoring hasn't been there as of late, but I think his all-around game has been good. He's fast. He can get on the forecheck, continue plays, and then as always, he's been always reliable defensively. And yes, you can want more offense from guys, but if you're contributing with another extra goal 1 every 2 games, but you're giving up 2 or 3, you're not much help. And he's been good on both ends of the rink.
Okay, so
is that a little bit of an indictment on Jeff Skinner?
Well, I think that's a further indication of why some players play more than others.
Sure.
Even if the players who are playing more don't score as much as some people would like.
Quite eloquently put.
So, as we mentioned today, Jeff Skinner was on the third line with Henrique and Hyman. Now, Kapanen also was not on the ice. So here's Knobloch's reply to a question about Jeff Skinner's status today.
Getting opportunities, he's had some scoring chances. We haven't committed to line up tomorrow, but it's a very difficult decision taking anybody out of lineup. We've been very happy with how everybody's been playing, and you look at our bottom 6 guys and kind of the role that they play, whether that's been penalty kill or just 5-on-5 play. It's difficult, and he's been playing well, but he was our odd guy out, and I don't think it's fair for anybody to do that when they're playing well. But from our standpoint, we've got a lot of players that are good and that are playing well, and we're continuing to go that route.
Okay, what are you hearing there, Jay Milne?
Oh, things are going to stay the same. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I'm hearing.
That Skinner's scratch tomorrow if
Yes.
everybody's healthy.
Yes. Now, was there Kapanen not skating sick? Just illness?
He and Ekholm sick.
Seems like that's kind of going through the team, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Nurse was under the weather a bit earlier in the week, right?
He missed a skate a few games ago.
Regular was a placeholder for him, I believe.
And he didn't skate today either.
Or Regula, sorry. I mean, Reid, it's funny, and this goes back because what he said about Connor Brown also directly affects Jeff Skinner as well, because he's not contributing the goals as much. But you know what? You said this earlier in the year, that Connor Brown's not here to be third or fourth on the team in goal scoring. Connor Brown has a role, and it's within the team. It's within their system.
Yeah.
Right? Jeff Skinner was. So if he's not doing that, I'm sorry, but we're not going to be making changes to what's working very, very, very well as of late.
And what did Knobloch say in the clip about Connor Brown that you could say, this person didn't score this game. But he prevented 3 goals or 3 scoring chances.
Or didn't give up 3 scoring chances.
Or didn't give up 3 scoring chances.
Wasn't dash 3.
Right. So
Right.
that's
big swing.
That's kind of what we've been talking about. And I respect that some people don't like that and they're not happy with how Skinner's treated or the contract to begin with or whatever.
Yeah,
but this is the roster we're dealing with now.
Yeah. And I say there's allowed to be frustration with management on this signing because it clearly hasn't worked out. Okay, but like I said, oh well, move on, folks. That is what it is. Just understand that you still have one of the greatest teams in hockey currently.
Right.
They're playing very well.
Extremely well. Let's get to a comment Leon Draisaitl made today. Kind of asked a question about how the team can win with its B game.
Yeah, we got to clean a couple things up, but sometimes, especially this time of year, you got to find ways to win hockey games. And, you get tired this time of year a little bit, and fatigue starts to kick in a bit. So good teams still find ways to win hockey games, and we're obviously looking to continue that.
All right, so yeah, that's another, and we were talking about this with Shawn Belle. I think we've been saying it, that ability to maybe not play great or have another team play really well against you, like Buffalo did, and you still find a way, whether you need a goaltending performance, a power play goal, an unlikely goal score, whatever, a penalty kill against Seattle, they've still been able to figure it out, which I think is a pretty good sign. The Oil understood there for GCL Diesel. Keep texting us. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree inbox.
Man, this show is flying along.
The off-topic topic for William Huff is which Canadian, living or deceased, would you most like to have a brief interaction with, and what would you try to talk to them about, non-Oilers? And email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Hoping to get some limericks coming in there today. And, of course, in the Nasty Chat, post your messages for us and more commonly for each other. There on YouTube, and continue to give us a thumbs up. We have soared past 100 and we want to get to 130 minimum to get a word of the day. And so, but don't wait though. Like, don't think, oh, somebody else will do it. You got to do it and get us as high as possible, as soon as possible. Jay Onrait is scheduled to join us, by the way, in about an hour. We'll have more on the Oilers, a little bit more on the Utah team names, and for reasons we will disclose, we're going to talk about handsome athletes as well. It's the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne.
The NHL sees the Maple Leafs taking on the Wild, the Pens battling the Hockey Club, the Canucks and Predators dropping the puck, while Drew Doughty makes his return for the Kings when they challenge the Panthers. And after he lacerated his quad when crashing into the boards in yesterday's game, Caden Gooley has undergone surgery and will be out indefinitely for the Habs. And back in Utah, the franchise has picked three final names to be the permanent branding of the club, with the final names being Mammoth, Wasatch, and Hockey Club. And from Calgary, the Oil Kings challenge the Hitmen, while Tri-City is on the road in Kamloops. The Rays play the Pats, and the Rebels meet the Wheat Kings, seeing 5 games in the WHL. While down south, the Dallas Cowboys have hired the following assistant coaches, with linebackers coach Dave Bargonzi being hired, and Aaron Whitecotton being the defensive line coach, while the defensive passing game coordinator, Andre Curtis, has been added to the coaching staff. In the CFL, Luke Burton-Cron and the Elks have agreed to a 2-year extension, with Burton-Cron suiting up in all 18 games last season and 11 games dot the NBA slate, including the Raptors butting heads with the Wizards. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring, proudly serving Edmonton and area for over 30 years. Their showroom offers all the best and latest in flooring, tiles, and area rugs. You can find them at the corner of 184th Street and 107th Ave. They're open 7 days a week, and tell them EST sent you for 10% off your next purchase. You can shop in-store or online at ParamountFlooring.ca. We have a quick intermission before the Reid Wilkins Show continues here on EST. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus, shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
The Canadian Ice House is taking your sports experience to a higher level. Trackman golf simulators are now open at the Ice House, an immersive and realistic golfing experience in the heart of downtown Edmonton. Visit in-store or at thecanadianicehouse.com for details.
Your home for live music and great performances is
the River Cree Resort and Casino.
On the patio, there's whiskey in the jar.
March 14th, don't miss the Kings of Celtic. The legendary Irish Rovers play the venue at the River Cree.
Hey boys, sing us a song. One of the old ones and we sing along.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Tommy Gunn's Barbershop is more than just a barbershop. It's a top-notch, tailor-made experience from check-in to check-out. Get a precision haircut, a classic shave, or a facial to step up your style. Just walk in, relax, and let Tommy Guns take it from there. Find comfort in knowing their team follows the code, which is their commitment to care for you as a customer. Check out Tommy Guns today, in-store or online at TommyGuns.com to bring out the best in you. Tommy Guns, where every cut is done right every time.
Hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
I like this jam.
Yeah, it's good.
This really sets the tone, Koob.
Joaquin Gage, by the way, participated in our dunk video promoting the show on Instagram. Did you tweet it out as well?
I did.
We're going to start tweeting those out, too. We'll start tomorrow. It'd be weird now to do it. Gage, you're a good guy. We are happy to have you tuning into the Reid Wilkins show today. I'm Reid. He's Jason Milne. Now, I don't keep track of stuff like this, but is tomorrow our 100th show?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to get decorations.
Wonder what Dustin Nielsen has in store for you, Jay.
Play more tables and games.
Yeah, maybe. I think I've said too much. I think I've said too much. Well, I shouldn't have even dropped that.
Is he coming on the show? I didn't know this.
Tomorrow's show 100.
Okay.
I don't know.
Wow.
Could be.
I hope I'm
could
here
be
on
something
Friday.
to do about your future with the company.
Oh God.
On the show, I've said too much.
My
now
mom's
Dustin's
listening. You know,
Dustin's going to be upset with me. I shouldn't have teased that. Like, teasing is good in radio, but I don't know if I should have teased that. That might have been for you know what Matt Hyman wants on the show tomorrow.
What?
It's I think he wants to see us play a certain game.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Like, we should do that in the summer. We should just play Dungeons and Dragons for 3 hours and narrate it. We'd have to have Gazzola with us, though.
Narrate it.
He could wear those shorts. That could be that could be like a roll. Roll for your shorts length. On a D20. Okay. Thanks a lot for tuning in. The Koob is here as well. That's Zachary Kubusch, our technical producer and sports update deliverer. I'm going to tell you something tomorrow. So, of course, we'll have a full day of live programming with our usual lineup from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. here on Edmonton Sports Talk. And then at 6 p.m. tomorrow, it is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, leading into tomorrow night's game against the Detroit Red Wings as the Oilers go after their fourth consecutive victory, and the Wings trying to stay in the Eastern Conference playoff race. They have done better ever since Todd McClellan took over as the head coach of the team. That was right around Christmas he took over. Didn't they change coaches on Boxing Day? I think they did. All right, so that's what's coming up tomorrow. We've gone over the Oilers' lines today. Again, a couple guys ill, so we'll see. Well, they might have an optional morning skate tomorrow. I guess we'll see. All right, it's time for buying or selling for Damon Bunting. He's a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or the Instagram handle of David Bunting Real Estate. All right, we'll do a lighthearted one anyway here for sure. So, Koob, can you help us out here? So the Utah Hockey Club has chosen 3 finalists for the team name that it'll adopt for the start of next season, right? So what are the finalists?
That is correct. So the 3 finalists is Utah Mammoth, Utah Wasatch, and the Utah Hockey Club, a name we're already familiar with.
The 3 finalists are, not the 3 finalists is, plural.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. So I can't help myself.
Wasatch. The way you say Wasatch.
What is that?
Wasatch.
It just sounds like a bad word.
Is that how it's?
And in Utah,
Wasatch,
of all
not
places,
Wasatch?
I think it's Wasatch.
Let's see.
But if you say you're such a Wasatch, doesn't that mean
what is that?
It's a mountain range in Utah.
All right. How do you say
do it again, Koob?
I'll get it up
Can you
here.
play it on air?
I'll get it up here.
This is pronunciation.com. No, that's not even a website.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Mammoth, the Hockey Club, and the Wasatch or Wasatch.
So they would be named after a mountain range.
What kind of Wasatch came up with that idea?
Well, Colorado Rockies. What are they named after? Wasatch.
Wasatch.
So that's a mountain range near Utah, in Utah, near Salt Lake City. You guys this is the remix, everybody. Just turn it down, Coop. Just turn it down. All right, good.
The thing crashed. I'm sorry, everybody. Your ears. I apologize.
That's okay.
That's called getting Wasatched.
So Utah Hockey Club remains a finalist, which doesn't surprise me. And Utah Mammoth, which they could have some fun with that. So why is Yeti out Because wasn't that supposed to be the front runner? Why is Yeti out of the picture?
I think it was trademark issues with the Yeti brand of cup. You know the coffee mug cup I was sipping on this morning?
Yes.
The Yeti brand is a very, very proud and major, massive brand. So I don't think they wanted to share that name.
But they share it with a mythological snow creature.
Well, mythological is the key word there, Koob. But they weren't. I don't even think that they would take money to be a part of it. Looks like the Coos got something to say here. Hop on the mic. Okay. They couldn't. Yeah.
So this is the Koo, not the Koob. Wannick is in the studio
Coos
for
talking
some
to
reason.
the Koob. Now the Mammoth, Reid, I'm okay with that. Now the Colorado, the NLL team, the National Lacrosse League, was called the Mammoth. I think they still are the Mammoth. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I mean,
still exist. Yeah.
I mean, there's Jets in hockey and Jets in football. It's not like you share it. It's you can only have this name. Now Mammoth is pretty specific.
Yeah.
But I don't mind the Mammoth.
I don't mind that either. Certainly better than Wasatch.
I like the hockey club. I'm not against it.
I think that's what it's going to be. That'll be my prediction today.
I think it kind of stands alone.
I mean, Yeti would have been okay. I think they could have so clear. It's not going to be a traditional plural name.
No,
it's going to be more Avalanche, Lightning type of name. I think they could have some fun with Mammoth, the woolly mammoth, tusks, probably a mascot.
Is Wasatch plural? Because it's referring
in and of itself.
Yeah.
Is a mountain range plural?
I think it is.
That's the deep question of the day. Is it a forest or a tree?
Ooh.
Which would you rather be, Jay? It's okay to share.
I'd rather be the leaves, Reid. Because they breathe. Yeah, Wasatch got it. That's got to be.
I don't know. To me, that's kind of boring. Like, it works better for the Rockies because it's easier to say.
Here's the thing. And it's like if you give your child a name that is very hard to pronounce,
right?
Or you have to understand that kids are going to mispronounce your kid's name for the rest of their life. If you put the Wasatch or Wasatch or Wasatch as your team name, that is going to get mispronunciated.
You're asking for it, yeah,
forever.
Well, there's already people doing it in the nasty chat. I had to delete a couple.
Are you serious?
Well, somebody put in something a little naughty.
But yeah, the Mammoth, I like it. I like the Mammoth. I don't mind HC.
Yeah, Wasatch wouldn't work very well. Mammoth could be fun. And, if their advertising campaign, this is Mammoth.
Yeah. The Mammoth, and then you got a mascot.
The headline in the newspaper, Mammoth score, Mammoth win. Because people are checking the paper to see who won last night.
Obviously.
But I think they're probably going to stick with HC because I think that there's been... I don't know if there's been a positive reaction to HC, but I feel as if it's been more tolerated than it might have been, or people are sort of having fun with the simplicity of it. Now, I don't know what it's like in that market, but I feel as if people talking about hockey have just sort of accepted that that's the name, and it's a little different and quite obvious. I mean, the Koob, when he does his sports updates, he'll say, it's Canadians Flyers and Hockey Club Lightning. It's just sort of become the thing that you say.
What are they currently called?
Utah Hockey Club.
Right. Therein lies your answer. It will be the Mammoth. They would not give up an opportunity to now go and rebrand as the Mammoth and resell all those jerseys and get all that extra revenue from the Mammoth.
You think that's going to be part of the motivation
and all the merch that would come with that. They would be silly to keep it as the hockey club.
So you are
monetarily.
You are selling for Damon Bunting that it'll remain the hockey club. I will buy that it remains the hockey club.
The Koo, get in here. You've got an opinion, brother.
Don't be all like, I don't want to go on air, guys. I just want to show.
You got to jump on the mic, though.
I don't want to disturb you guys while you're your show.
Well,
you already did.
So the thing is, you could still they rushed Utah Hockey Club. They still don't. This was just a placeholder logo. You could still do all the brand new merch, all new jerseys with Utah Hockey Club.
Yeah, but you're not going to get everybody to change over. Unless you're
not going to get everyone to change over just for the new jersey either. If you go to Mammoth, there are going to be people that just want to stick to that jersey.
Fair
you
enough.
still get the full marketing because they didn't properly do, like, this might not be their logo that they're going with the Utah Hockey Club. Have fun.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, they're doing something different. This is the type of thing. And honestly,
I do like the Mammoth.
Does it matter what we think in Edmonton?
Heck no.
No, it matters what the people in Salt Lake and area. And
Do you think it matters what the people of Salt Lake think either?
Well, maybe to a degree. I'm sure they wouldn't want to do something where it's like, oh, we tested this one and no one liked it. But I think they could have some fun visually and with the jerseys of the Mammoth. But I also think Hockey Club has gone over maybe better than expected. And what's more? Okay, here's my question to you: what's more unique of a team name, the Utah Hockey Club or the Utah Mammoth? To me, it's
Mammoth.
Hockey Club. Really? Okay.
Oh, what are you talking about?
What's more of a
seriously?
unique team name? To me, it's Utah Hockey Club because no one in the NHL is along those lines.
I guess. Okay, I see what you mean. Sorry. Yeah. There's the argument for it for sure. I just think of, it's a totally directionally totally different direction you'd be heading if you went with Hockey Club. I can see sides and viability for both. I just think with the Mammoth, there's much more to do down the road and to create.
Right.
And it really lends itself to Utah. Although Dwayne from Tway, he chimes in on the River Cree inbox. Hi, Reid and Jay. As a former educator, thank you for educating our youth on is and are.
You're welcome.
As for the Yeti, it exists in Asia, not North America. Like the improper use of is and are, I feel geographic accuracy is important when naming sports teams. Later, Dwayne from
so
Tway.
the Yeti is the Asian word for Bigfoot? And in
Ish.
North America, is it Bigfoot, Sasquatch?
Yeah. Well, Bigfoot, yeah. But the Yeti would be the snowy version of the Sasquatch, I would suppose.
He's got to give us more details on that.
Yeah.
Please do. Do you remember that episode on The Simpsons when they flashed back to Bart being born? And Marge says, well, what about Lewis? And Homer's like, Marge, we have to think about if kids could make fun of the name. They'll call him Screwy Louie. And Marge goes, well, what about Lawrence? And Homer goes, they'll call him Fairy Larry. And then Marge goes, what about Bart? And Homer goes, Art, Bart, Cart, Dart, Eart. Yeah, don't see a problem with that
one. Vic chimes in and he says they should go with the Utah
Dungeons and Dragons. That's what our team name would be.
That'd be good.
The stuff you could do with the logos. All right. The River Cree inbox is how you're reaching the Jay there, 780-218-9999. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday from 4 to 10 p.m. I'm going to be honest with you here, everybody. I'm not sure what we're going to get up to next, but hopefully it'll be fun. Keep hitting the thumbs up on YouTube. We are just shy of initial word of the day territory. So go in there, flick, 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 help our grammar. I'm really touched that somebody liked that we are spelling and grammar and language conscious on this show. That makes me feel really good.
Who else is, Reid?
I feel all warm inside.
Who else is?
I think we might be the most grammatically correct show in Edmonton, sports or otherwise.
Well, supposedly.
Yeah. All right, here comes the coop.
On the ice, Drew Doughty makes his season debut for LA when the Kings challenge the Panthers. Elsewhere, Nashville hosts Vancouver. Minnesota plays Toronto, while the Flyers battle the Devils, and Pittsburgh takes on Utah. And with Utah, they have came up with their final 3 names for the permanent name of the club, having the Mammoth, the Wasatch, and the current name, the Hockey Club, as the 3 finalists. And the WHL sees the Oil Kings battling the Hitmen, Tri-City in Kamloops, and Regina facing Prince Albert on a 5-game slate. Down south, the Cowboys have named 3 new coaches to their club, having Dave Borgonzi brought on as the linebackers coach, Aaron Whitecotton as the defensive lines coach, and Andre Curtis as the defensive passing game coordinator. 11 games dot the NBA slate with the Raptors tipping off against the Wizards, the Cavs, and Heat throwing it down, while the Timberwolves hit the court with the Suns. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton. Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off free of charge. Find out how you can make an impact at findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. That's 780-988-1717. We have a quick break before Reid and Jay continue on the show. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're in the loop.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
All right, thanks for tuning in this afternoon. So I guess we've picked the Utah team name. Well, we've picked the one of the three that it won't be. There's a lot of people posting in the Nasty Chat names that it won't be. My goodness, we got some interesting minds out there today.
D. Hendo comes in, Utah Yodelers. That's not bad.
Then their intro song could just be someone yodeling. That'd be pretty good.
It would be like if you wanted to bring in a talent for the night, you could bring in the Ricola guy.
The who? Oh, that guy.
And
is that yodeling?
No, it's not. I don't know why I thought those two combined.
Sounds nice.
It's a throat lozenge.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lozenge.
Who
said it wrong here recently? It was Koob. What did you say?
Oh, Koob, yeah.
Lozenge.
You need a lozenge, baby.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Lozenge?
But what did you say
correct.
incorrectly?
Oh.
You didn't say
lozenge.
Yeah,
yeah, you said a lozenge. Yeah.
Yeah, the Wasatch are out. That's just terrible.
I hope they don't call it that. I don't even know why that would be a finalist. I never even saw that before.
No.
I want it to be the Utah Buzz, and then they would have the Jazz and the Buzz. And again, there's not a lot of jazz in Utah, everybody. Do you know why they're called the Utah Jazz?
I do not.
Because the team was in New Orleans and it was called the New Orleans Jazz,
that
which makes
so
perfect
much more sense.
Which maybe is the most appropriate team name of all time.
What would be an alternate name for the Jazz now, like the Utah Jazz?
The Utah Yeti. Well, they could call the Utah Basketball Club.
What about the Utah Ice?
Utah, we're a team in the association.
Utah Ice.
Yeah, they probably want something more original than that, though.
Winnipeg Ice, no? Weren't they relocated? That was a W.
Well, that was the Edmonton Ice. Then they were the Kootenay Ice in Cranbrook. Yeah. Then they were the Winnipeg Ice.
And they have Yetis on there.
Now they're the, what's the Wenatchee Wild? Do I have that?
Wenatchee?
I think that's the progression. Yeah, because there was the Edmonton Ice, and then they moved to Cranbrook, right? It was with the Kootenay Ice. Then they were the Winnipeg Ice. And now it's the Wenatchee Wild?
Yep.
Okay. See how much you've learned? Oh, Papa Homer. All right.
Is the Yeti, this comes in from Ross, is a Yeti the same as a Sasquatch, but the hair just turns color in winter?
I don't know. This is what I want to find out.
Well, Dwayne from the Tway sent us a Wikipedia link, which I'm on. The Yeti is an ape-like creature purported to inhabit the Himalayan mountain range in Asia. In Western pop culture, the creature is commonly referred to as the abominable snowman. Yes.
Okay, but so in general, though, is Bigfoot, Abominable Snowman, Sasquatch, and Yeti all sort of the same creature, just in different cultures or nations?
I think Yeti and Abominable Snowman are very similar. The Sasquatch is a different, if I'm not mistaken. But it does say the Yeti is commonly compared to Bigfoot of North America. The two subjects often have physical descriptions. So yeah, I mean, they're similar. But the Yeti is from the Himalayan mountain range.
We're in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the head of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com. Book your private consultation today. Of course, Trent Brown from James H. Brown has joined us throughout the course of our show. You and he are tied. No, you're ahead of him.
I believe so.
So you're the greatest picker-offer in U of A football history, and Trent is second.
It would appear that way. It's one of the only things I can beat that guy
as a picker-offer. This is a good one from Mabutsky in the Nasty Chat, and continue to give us the thumbs up on YouTube because we are almost at Word of the Day territory, so don't wait. Do it now, so at least we know we're doing one Word of the Day. This is a great message. The Utah Jazz should trade names with the LA Lakers, and he put no joke. Yeah, that would make more sense. The LA Jazz and the Utah Lakers.
Ooh.
Though you know why the Lakers are called the Lakers? Because they were Minneapolis, where there's a lot of lakes in Minnesota. But they didn't change the name. Dawson Nielsen, can we bring back the Edmonton Roadrunners? Well, we can't. I guess, sorry, Dawson. No, we can't.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell you. We can't do it. All right. What are we doing?
Fired up.
Oh, you want to do fired up. So something, well, I'll let Jay take it, but this is a tease for something coming up on Edmonton Sports Talk later this week. Fired Up, presented by Gemco and Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years, the authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street.
This as a skier, the Wasatch is a well-known area with great mountains. Once you're used to the name, it will become a good one. That comes in from Groundskeeper.
Once you go Wasatch, you never go batch.
Coop, yeah, maybe another time. Guy Flaming,
good guy,
chimes in. He says, Edmonton Ice, Kootenay Ice, Winnipeg Ice, Wenatchee Wild. You are correct, Reid.
Thank you.
The Utah Tauntauns basically stole the WHL team's color scheme.
Oh, that'd be a good name for a team, the Tauntauns.
What's a Tauntaun?
Have you seen The Empire Strikes Back?
Yes.
Those are the creatures they are riding at the beginning. And then when one dies and and Luke needs to be kept alive and kept warm, Han Solo guts one and stuffs Luke inside of it.
Right. They're kind of like a bighorn sheep meets a velociraptor.
Meets a kangaroo almost.
Almost.
Yeah.
Huh. Tauntauns.
All right. What are you fired up about, my friend?
Well, I'm fired up about this, Reid. We have a draft coming up Friday morning on the Hangout from 9 to 11. That's presented by Sentinel Storage. The Coup is the host. And as you know, Dustin and Eric generally come up with the layout of these drafts. We don't, Tommy and I are the other two people that participate in the draft. We don't really get a say in really anything. And I'm not fired up about that. I like that they organize it. They do. But it's a handsome man draft.
Right.
Nobody has come out and defined because, okay, let me ask you this. What would you define as a handsome man as opposed to a sexy man?
Okay, but first of all, that's how these drafts are done. They couldn't define Christmas when I did a Christmas draft.
Yeah, you can.
I participated in no, they couldn't, because they couldn't define what was a Christmas movie and what wasn't. And some people thought my suggestion of an awkward moment with, little Jingles puking on a bed was a Christmas thing, and other people said, no, that's wrong. That could happen at any time of year. So
who said that?
Everybody. Well,
That's a load
some
of
people
crap.
complained about. I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe I'm just being difficult.
What's a handsome man compared to what's a sexy man?
Well, a handsome man would be somebody whose facial features are considered appealing.
So you're just all about the face.
To me, handsome is about the face.
See, I think handsome embodies obviously very good looks.
Yes.
Very symmetrical looks. Okay. But then there's also a bit of a style involved. Almost not a swagger, but a confidence. A quiet, elegant confidence is that of a handsome man. Is that fair?
No.
Why?
Well, I think you
What's
asked me.
confidence then?
You asked me. To me, that would be part of sexiness, like you said.
Confidence would be part of sexiness?
Because to me, sexiness embodies attitude and swagger and personality. Like the definition of handsome is simply good looking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's what I mean. If you're asking me, what is what are you guys drafting? You're drafting handsome men. So it's somebody with a good looking face. The definition of sexy is exciting, appealing, sexually attractive, or exciting. So it's exciting. So maybe they're not the best. Maybe it's not the most handsome person or the most beautiful person, but it's someone also with that, as the French say, that I don't know what.
I like that.
That draws you in or you find appealing. Whereas handsome is like you could be like I think somebody. If you said to somebody, what do you think of that person? And they said to you, I think they're sexy, that would imply that they like that person. Whether they would do whatever with them or not, that they would want to talk to that person and be around them. If I said to somebody, what do you think of that person? And they said, oh, well, he's handsome, but they could hate him. They could think he's an awful human being and never want to talk to him, but just saying, well, he's got a nice face.
Okay.
So the handsome man draft is a draft of men who are good looking.
Yes, that's fair to say. And yeah, T-Man says handsome is the same as attractive and sexy at the same time. I'm just going to go with what I think is handsome, and that's just a well put together man. Are you laughing at me?
Yes.
Why?
A well put together man.
Yeah. I don't mean his, bits and whatnot.
No,
I'm talking about.
To me, handsome's the face.
Yeah.
It's handsome's the face only.
Okay. All right. Not the hair?
The head, Jay.
Thank you. I mean, geez.
My God. So this is the draft on the Hangout on Friday. It's interesting I wasn't invited back after finishing second.
No, it wasn't. You weren't invited back.
Because some people thought I was too weird in my mind.
You were a placeholder for
let's
me.
Let's face it, everybody. Too clever.
You were a placeholder for me because I had an obligation that day. Now I'm back. But see, I want to get more people into the draft, and I want to see relegation heightened. And whoever finishes last, I believe and feel should be relegated. And then a new person comes in.
Dawson says, does Tom Gazzola go first overall? He is known as handsome Tom Gazzola.
I don't know who has the first pick.
So what are the categories?
Okay, the categories are... where are we here? Okay, 5 athletes, 5 actors, a bald man, a mustache man, silver fox, cartoon character, musician, handsome man who has passed away, a local member of the media, a non-local sports broadcaster, an ugly man, and a commission's pick.
Okay, so wait, you have to take... There's 2 local people?
No, 1.
What's the category?
Local member of the media. And then non-local.
Oh, non-local member of the media.
Sports broadcaster, though.
So like,
sports.
Okay, so where we're...
Like Joe Buck
Craig Simpson.
or Tony Romo.
Craig Simpson lives in Edmonton, but he's a national broadcaster.
Yeah, he would be non-local.
Chris Cuthbert.
Sure.
Barry the Cheater says, intelligence is sexy, Reid. I agree.
Can't you have a handsome voice as well?
No. Handsome is good looking. Having a nice voice would be another level of attraction, perhaps attributing to sexiness. People are probably thinking like, wow, Reid has really thought about this.
Yeah.
What do you think I would do during intermissions at an Oilers game, everybody? I worked with Rob Brown, speaking of handsome.
Yeah.
Rob's handsome.
Sure.
Barry the Cheater says, if Reid and Jay don't go early in the draft, I will be disappointed.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Jasmine, who would be a better judge of handsomicity in a men than others.
I'm interested to hear this.
Says, Reid is kind of right. Handsome is a hands-down looker, and sexy is the accessory to handsome. Draft needs a rename. Dawson says, does Bob Stauffer get drafted? No comment. Barry the Cheater says, I said you should take this person.
Yeah.
Slav Kornick,
Yeah.
Global News.
Yeah, I have him circled high.
He's a handsome guy.
He is handsome.
No, Onrait's on at 5:20 for someone asking in the Nasty Chat. Somebody's like,
Well, we're going to get his opinion too.
I'm sick of these clowns. So I'm going to check back when Onrait's on. Help Jay. All right, and this is what we're going to do for Reid's top 3 today. For food sausage, the best sausages you will ever eat, locally made and packed full of flavor. Order online or visit them in store, $67.36, and take advantage of their EST discount. 10% off your order by entering the online code EST or mention Edmonton Sports Talk in store. As Food Sausage says, you can't beat our meat. So what we're going to do for Reid's top 3 is we want your submissions for a handsome athlete, and we'll help Jay make his draft list for that category on Friday. I have some names, but I'll give mine later. So send in, help Jay make a list of the people he's going to draft in the handsome athlete handsome male athletes on Friday on the Hangout. Okay, is that how we're going to do top 3 today? We can do it a little different. We want listeners to help us out. You don't seem convinced, Jay. That's what we're going to do.
I am. I can't wait. And we can keep going through. We can get into bald people. We can get into cartoon characters.
Well, bald people, there's one choice.
You keep saying that.
Patrick Stewart.
Yes. There's plenty of very handsome bald people.
Like Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Number 1. Engage the commercials. Make it so.
Number 1.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems. But did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Three games get underway in just a moment with the Flyers and Devils dropping the puck. The Wild and Maple Leafs hitting the ice while Drew Doughty makes his season debut for the Kings against the Panthers. After that, the Hockey Club plays the Pens and the Canucks meet the Preds on a 5-game NHL slate. And back in Utah, the permanent names of the franchise have been narrowed down to just 3 names, with Wasatch, Mammoth, and Hockey Club being the finalists. And in Calgary, the Oil Kings challenge the Hitmen. Kelowna hosts Victoria, and the Regina Pats faced Prince Albert Raiders, seeing 3 games in the WHL. And for the Cowboys, Andre Curtis has been hired as the defensive passing game coordinator. Aaron Whitecotton has been named as the defensive line coach. And David Borgonzi has been brought in as a linebackers coach. And on the court, it's the Raptors tipping off against the Wizards. Nets and Hornets going at it, and the Pistons battling the Pacers, having 11 games in the association. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date. Third hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Hope you're having a great afternoon. Couple minutes after 5 here, along with Jay Milne. I'm Reid Wilkins on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. If you're checking us out using the YouTube feed, remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and give the show a thumbs up, as it helps us build the audience and build recommendations for the show on YouTube. You can get us on the TuneIn Radio app, on iHeartRadio, on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. And remember to sign up for the podcast. If you're listening to the show, maybe you got it through podcast, and you already have, but sign up for the other shows as well. The Nielsen Show, EST Afternoons with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage, the Hangout, the Oil Stream. We got a lot of great programs, and we want to help. We want you to help us build those podcast numbers as well. We just got to 130 thumbs, so there will be at least one word of the day. Let's get to 150 by about 5:45. You got to thumb up Jay Onrait, don't you? He's going to join us in about 15 minutes. By the way, we want to always remind you to check out skimarmot.com once a week on the show, and the boys do it in the morning as well. We got the Marmot Basin Ski Report. Ski for half price every day with the Marmot Escape Card, only $99 at skimarmot.com, or get 4 lift tickets for the family for only $329. Great deal for families, only available online, skimarmot.com. Oilers practice today. They play the Red Wings tomorrow. That's a 7 o'clock game, Jay. 6 o'clock for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show here on EST with Tom and Hernan, and then they'll be on after the game as well to break it down and get your reaction. I usually hop on with them after home games when I'm done working the dressing room and getting some post-game audio. And then a little team called the Toronto Maple Leafs will be here on Friday for a 5 o'clock game at Rogers Place. I wonder if there will be any national attention on that one.
Well, it is interesting, and Maddie has said this before, our heralded coup, that the Maple Leafs are having a really good year.
Yep.
And it does seem quiet.
What do you mean?
It's just not being slammed down our throats as much as it might usually be. I mean, given that Toronto is the center of the universe.
They are.
It just doesn't seem... I don't know. I'm not feeling as much, pro-Toronto talk or discussion. Then, I don't know. It just seems like it's not as there.
By the way, we now have a sign on our building.
We do.
Which is pretty exciting. We have a large Edmonton Sports Talk sign, thanks to William Huff, who also provide our off-topic topic every day here on the Reid Wilkins Show. We have a sign. That's pretty cool. Another big step in the continued growth of Edmonton Sports Talk. We love it. Thank you, William Huff. And then Rip City Step posts on Twitter, like Ace of Base in 1993, I saw the sign and picked up a gift certificate from Reid Wilkins. Somebody else talking about an autograph I sent them. We got the sign. We got somebody mentioned a canned ham t-shirt. We got a lot going on today. It's pretty fun. One of the things we have going on is your suggestions to help Jay in the Handsome Man draft on Friday. So we want you to help make Jay's list, courtesy of Food Sausage, for people he could draft in the handsome athlete category. Men. The Rock, says Matt Hyman put The Rock LOL, but I don't think that's an LOL. I think that's a legit pick.
Well, and he can cross borders. He can be an athlete. He can be an actor. He can be a bald man.
Oh, that's a good point.
So
he's really good. So The Rock's a triple threat.
He's a bit of a Swiss Army knife in the handsome man draft.
Do you have anything coming in the River Cree inbox? 780-218-9999.
Spency 5 Centsy, Ryan Getzlaff, Andre Agassi, Michael Jordan.
Interesting. Okay.
For handsome balds. Deaky Sparks.
Oh, is Agassi bald now? I guess he is, but he had long hair for a while when he played.
He's 100% bald now. The Rock's bald. How about Bruce Willis? Steve Harvey?
And so are you picking the person in his prime or as they look now?
I think it's a body of work.
Okay.
Okay. I think if there's too much change, excuse me, from young to old, then that would go against your pick.
But you also have an older gentleman, a Silver Fox category.
A Silver Fox.
Yeah.
To which you came up with a real good one.
Ted Danson.
Yeah, I like that. Ernie says Gizmo. Williams, that is.
Okay. For what category?
Bald.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what about, how come we didn't say this one? What about Michael Riley?
Yeah. Could be.
I've mentioned the ladies at Ched were always excited when he came in to do Tuesday morning quarterback with, or Monday morning, whatever it was, with Morley.
Jason Strudwick.
Strud's very handsome.
From Smith TM14. Henrik Lundqvist. That is a handsome athlete.
We should have thought of that. He's got to be up there right away.
That's a good one.
And what age? Any age from like 20 to now.
Yes. Very handsome.
Yeah.
Deaky Sparks. Are wrestlers, actors, or athletes? Great question. Great question.
Oh, my God. That's a good point.
I think they can fall into both categories.
Yep.
Jason Statham. Bald.
And an actor.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. You had a good list there. The actors category is going to be competitive.
Now, Scott on a hotel balcony in Beaumont says, and this is all in the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. George Clooney is the Silver Fox.
So that's what category he would put George in.
Well, once again, he can go into both. The ladies love, this comes in from Taco. The ladies love Jimmy G. That's Jimmy Garoppolo. Yes, he is very, very beautiful.
Well, and I mentioned to you, I did not know this. I wouldn't know this if I did not have a friend, female friend, who follows hockey and goes on, I guess on TikTok, this athlete was quite popular with the ladies. Alex Wenberg.
Right.
Apparently is considered quite attractive.
Sheldon Surrey.
Oh, absolutely. So that's one of the 3 I had for suggestions for you. Surrey for sure. Well, didn't we do our informal sexiest male Edmonton athlete of all time?
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, and Surrey would have been the winner.
So yeah, that's filling out nicely. I think tomorrow we'll keep
getting more in today. We might pick a different category. We got a limerick here from the Big Uke to read at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Utah finalist names all sure stank. Leon on a puck is an absolute tank. Canadian to interview? Sure ain't your coup. Handsome man in a band, where do they rank? The Big Uke nails it again.
Keep that music up, Koo, because we got one here from, I think this was Scott on a hotel balcony in Beaumont.
Nice.
There once was a radio host named Reid, whose canned ham t-shirt I truly did need. When I got to the station, I had no verification, so I just went home and smoked weed.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So he didn't get the shirt?
It would appear that way because he didn't have his identification.
ID. Oh, yeah, you got to have ID. I think you used to have I don't know what the rules were. Again, I rarely gave out the shirts. I would just go down to the receptionist and be like, hey, are there enough shirts that I can still keep giving out shirts? And they would usually say yes. And then shortly before I left Ched, they said, don't give out any more shirts. We don't have enough left. And I was like, okay. In the back of my mind, I was like, perfect timing. It appears the universe has fallen in my favor, Mr. Bond. I don't know what that what does that even have to do with anything?
Now, wouldn't it be an ultimate if the 3 of us, Tom, Eric, and Dusty, Eric, Dusty, and myself, took different local media members and only left Tom to have to choose himself?
He wouldn't do that.
Do you think Tom gets chosen?
Yes. I do.
You do?
Yeah. I think Slav gets chosen. I don't watch enough non-sports television to know who's out there in the news world right now.
Like, remember Jesse Beyer?
Yep.
Global Weather?
Yep.
He's handsome.
Yeah. Josh? Does somebody choose Josh?
Well, Josh was on the list already.
Oh, sorry. I didn't hear that. All right. Dawson Nielsen says, what about Leon Draisaitl? Mike, the Michigan fan. I think this is the list from his wife. Tom Brady, Jesse Minter, and Charles Woodson.
Those are all good. I mean, Tom Brady's got to be on there.
Yeah, Brady's considered quite... Clefbaum. Craig Simpson. You should have a lot of suggestions.
Simper could go as an athlete or as a non-local
media. Yeah, that's true.
What about deceased? That's a tricky
I don't know.
one.
Well, you guys got to figure it out. That's what I mean, though. These drafts aren't very well defined. Maybe Quinn's going to jump in the nasty chat and define it.
What's not defined by dead or alive?
No, but can you take it? Like, that's what they say. You don't know if you can take a deceased person.
No, there's a category. Deceased.
Oh, there is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a dead category.
Clark Gable.
Clark Gable.
Yeah. You know who that is?
Reid, I have
it's
to
an
be
actor
honest
from
with you.
Gone
I don't
with the
know
Wind.
who that is.
That's a famous actor.
Clark Gable.
Yes.
I don't know how well that would play with the voting public.
Jim Morrison. No, he would be more sexy than handsome.
Yeah, that's a vibe I'm getting.
All right, it's time for our game of the night. For play more tables and games, from ping pong and pool tables to darts and dome hockey, plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for. Visit Canada's game room experts.
Play more tables and games.
Locations in Edmonton and Calgary are online at playmoregames.ca. By the way, keep hitting the thumbs up on YouTube. We are almost at double word of the day territory, so just give us a few more clicks, and Jay and I will be very, very happy and very, very excited. Robert Redford's not deceased. I don't know, maybe that's not what D-Rock meant. Robert Redford's alive? Yeah, Robert Redford is alive. My game of the night. I have about 14 tabs open on my computer. Well, because Doughty is back, I'm going to go Kings at Panthers. It's already underway.
This is now the third day in a row.
Well, it's obvious the game. You can have the same game of the night. Okay, I'll pick a different one.
Why don't you spread your wings and pick an NBA game?
No, because that's not my game of the night. It's my game of the night.
My game of the night is your game of the night.
Then I'm going to take
more tables and games.
What do I take? Penguins in the Utah Hockey Club?
Oh, obviously. See what the scuttlebutt is about the.
Well, I've got to take Kings Panthers.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's the return of the king.
Oh, Sam Bennett just scored, by the way. That's a Florida goal.
Is Drew Doughty the replacement?
It sounds like he's going to be, which I kind of find. Well, he's very good. But don't you want to pick somebody who's playing all year? I would.
This comes in from Grumpy Cat. Deceased? No brainer. Jean Chrétien.
Oh, my.
Norman at Combine. John Wayne.
Okay. All right, let's break because Jay just texted me that he wants to go.
Let's go.
All right, so let's, Coop, time out, do your update and call Onrait. We'll get him on. Back in a couple minutes.
Three games are live in the NHL. With the Panthers up 1-0 on the Kings in Doughty's return to LA and the Flyers. Devils game is scoreless with the Wild and Maple Leafs notched at 0-0 early in the first. After that, the Canucks battle the Predators and the Penguins take on the Utah Hockey Club, with Utah listing their three names for the finalists of their permanent club name, having the Mammoth, Wasatch, and the current name, the Hockey Club, as the finalists. And the WHL sees the Oil Kings battling the Hitmen Tri-City in Kamloops and Regina, facing Prince Albert on a 5-game slate. Down south, the Cowboys have named 3 new coaches to their club, having David Borgonzi brought on as the linebackers coach, Aaron Whitecotton as their defensive line coach, and Andre Curtis as the defensive passing game coordinator. And 11 games are on tap in the NBA. 3 of them live right now, with the Raptors up 7-0 on the Wizards early. The Nets leading the Hornets 11-2, and the Pistons trailing the Pacers 12-4. We have a quick timeout before Jay Onrait joins us here on the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Hockey lives at the Canadian Brew House. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. Plus, you can win game tickets and a surf and turf dinner for 2 at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Your home for live music and great performances is
the River Cree Resort and Casino.
On the patio, there's a whiskey in the jar.
March 14th, don't miss the Kings of Celtic. The legendary Irish Rovers play the venue at the River Cree.
Hey boys, sing us a song. One of the old ones and we sing along.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Are we going, Coop? Okay, Jay and I thought we were on air and said something very clever. Let me just say this. Jay has a bit of a secret weapon for the Handsome Man draft.
Or that guy.
Oh, yeah, he's an interesting guy for the Handsome Man draft in the Hangout on Friday. We're really building a good list for Jay. Thanks for all your help. That's the Food Sausage top 3 today, helping Jay build his draft list. If you're texting 780-218-9999, you're using the River Cree inbox. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant. All-you-can-eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday from 4 to 10 p.m. Send me an email, read at edmontonsportstalk.com. Jump into the nasty chat on YouTube. A lot of fun. Some stuff that maybe got a little over the line with some of the Utah team name stuff. But I know you all mean well. And give us, we're so close to 150 for the double word of the day. So please keep doing that as well. All right, we like to have this guy on the show because he's a lot of fun. We have no idea what we're going to talk about. Well, we sort of do, but he is truly a Canadian broadcasting legend, and he is the pride. Well, I think he's the pride of. Well, I was in Athabasca a few years ago. I didn't see a sign saying
there should be
home
a
of this
sign.
guy. There should be a statue or something. It's TSN's Jay Onrait checking in. Jay, it's Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
Hi, Reid and Jay. It's Jay. Great to talk to you both. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, we're fine. Is there a statue of you? Is there anything in Athabasca commemorating your citizenship of Athabasca?
Yeah, this is, I'm glad we started with this, Reid, because this is a very sensitive subject to me. As you know, because as you mentioned, you were recently in the beautiful town of Athabasca, population 3,000, about 90 minutes north of the city. You know that the welcome sign currently says Land of the Whispering Hills, Athabasca, Land of the Whispering Hills. And you also know that no one in that town who has ever lived in that town understands what that means or really understands where that even came from. So it's not like they're holding on to something precious on that welcome sign. You could very easily get a master carpenter to just slap a nice piece of plywood over top of the Land of the Whispering Hills part and put a beautiful picture of me, maybe in a suit or something like that, behind a desk and say it's the home of Jay Onrait. This has not happened thus far, and I'm pretty disappointed about it, and I'm really happy that we were able to bring it to your listeners' attention, because what I'm hoping, Reid and Jay, is that we can get some sort of campaign going to change the welcome sign in Athabasca, Alberta, to reflect the fact that I am from there and that I went on to become, as you described me, not my words, as you described me, a broadcast legend.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's my question, though, Jay. What would be too far? Like, okay, so they put home of Jay Onrait on the sign. So what would be too far in your mind? A statue naming a school after you, naming the arena after you? Like, what would be that the mayor of Athabasca calls you and says, Jay, we want to do this, and you're like, whoa. That's too much. Why don't we do this instead?
No. I'll say this, Reid Wilkins. There's no such thing as too far, considering that I put that town on the map. Who put the town on the map? The pulp mill company? No, I did. So therefore, statue, not too far. Name the rink after me, not too far. The pool after me, not too far. I went back a few years ago and I spoke at one of our fundraisers, and I suggested we rename Main Street Athabasca the Jay Onrait Expressway. Did it go over well? No, it didn't. Did it fall on deaf ears? Yes, it did. But should it have? No, it should not have. That should be the Jay Onrait Expressway. That's how you get to Fort McMurray. You can tell all the truckers that. How do I get to Fort McMurray? Simple. Drive through Athabasca. Take the Jay Onrait Expressway. Go buy the Boston Pizza on the way out of town. Grab yourself a slice and then head up to Fort Mac. It's not hard to figure out, Athabasca. Get it done.
Oh, I hope this, if the mayor of Athabasca or people from council aren't listening, I hope they get this audio or take it in on YouTube, because this is incredible. Jay Onrait joining us. Okay, it's fun because we have some listeners from Winnipeg who check in, because there's Winnipeg Sports Talk as well with Hustler, of course. And Matt Hyman says, Jay Onrait of the Big Breakfast Winnipeg. So I can't remember how long you were there, but after you and I got to be friends in Saskatoon, you left for Winnipeg. So remind me, like, was there ever a moment, Big Breakfast Winnipeg, where you're like doing the cooking segment and something goes wrong, or you're supposed to have a pet on and the little skunk attacks you? Like, what was the craziest Big Breakfast Winnipeg moment?
Well, I always tell the same one, and it's because I'm still physically feeling the effects of it to this day. It was Olympic bronze medalist in kickboxing for Canada at the Sydney Games in the year 2000, Dominique Bossart. She was from the Winnipeg area. We were lucky enough to have her on the show. We wondered if perhaps she would like to do some sort of kickboxing demonstration with me. And she said, of course I would. And she proceeded to roundhouse kick me so hard that I fell 8 feet backwards into a glowing sign, destroying the sign and knocking over several $1,000s of band equipment. The band that was there that day, they'll remain nameless to this point. Okay, it was the Tragically Hip. They were on the show that morning. No, that's not true. We never got the hip. But the point is, I got basically my entire chest caved in by this woman on live television, and I'm still here to tell the tale. So, it's like the little things, right, guys? And whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger or makes you suffer from chest bruises for decades after.
Jay, you got Jay here. I just wanted to ask you, the rise of the Luke Wilson and Jay Onrait segments following the NFL action, it's incredible. I love it. I wanted to get your take and your opinion on, are you more of a Luke Wilson man bun hairstyle, or are you more of a Luke Wilson full mullet?
Yeah, this is a great question, Jay, because I know a lot of people are wondering the same thing, because the man bun was so iconic for Luke, as we know, that he kept it after he finished playing in the National Football League, and he had it on the desk for a while. And I know not everybody was a fan, but I loved it. But I have to tell you guys, I am probably more a fan of the mullet. And in fact, I'm just in general, and I feel like you guys are the age you appreciate it. Like, we were there when the mullets started in the 80s, and now they're back now. Did you ever think they would be back like this? I thought there was no chance, and yet here we are. So I fully embrace it. Luke's got the full-on hipster mullet going on now. He's young, he's spry, he's single. Look out, ladies, he's coming, and he's got a mullet.
Well, and I agree with you. I'm pro mullet for Luke Wilson. And I just looked up on the Town of Athabasca website. There is a possibility that we could look to get the boat launch at Baptiste Lake named after Jay Onrait. I think that would be a pretty simple way to get that done. But I saw something on your show the other day that I have to bring up, and that is, who's also a friend of EST, is Bruce Boudreau. And we had a little bit of a malfunction in the dressing room, or I'm not sure. For those of you that don't know, Jay, if you could explain a bit, and just what your what was the reaction there to that beautiful man, Bruce Boudreau?
Yeah, he's such a beauty, such a kind person, but also one of those people, and I think maybe you and your listeners will understand what I mean by this. He's exactly what you think he will be. Bruce Boudreau, sometimes you meet people and you're like, wow, that guy was not as nice as I thought, or that guy was a lot uglier than I thought. No, he's exactly what you think he will be in every way and every positive way. His only issue, of course, is forgetting items of clothing when he's supposed to be carrying them and taking them on the road with him. So 2 appearances ago, he was supposed to be on our show. He brought his son's sports jacket instead of his own. So it was a bit of a tight fit. And then this most recent appearance that you are referring to, Jay, he forgot to bring dress shoes for his suit. And so he proceeded to wear a pair of blue sneakers and white socks. I got to be honest, I thought he rocked that look.
Yeah.
I thought that was just fine. Lots of guys are wearing sneakers with suits now. We all know that. And that's when I initially saw Bruce in the runners. I was like, oh, wow, Bruce is like hipper than I am. But then I realized, no, he had just completely forgotten to bring the proper shoes. to the show. So no, he's been Luke's been great. Bruce has been so awesome. Bruce has been amazing to talk. I feel so bad because, of course, every time we have Bruce on, we have to ask him about the JT Miller, Elias Pettersson situation. Like everybody's asking about it, because as you guys know, he was in that dressing room coaching, when that rift started. So he was fully aware of it. But it just goes to show you how, he said it to me. You think of how long Bruce been coaching for 50 years. Think of all the dressing room conflicts that he's had to navigate, right? So I think from his perspective, this was just another conflict between two guys with different personalities. I don't think he expected it to carry over for 2 years and now basically sabotage and submarine this entire franchise out in Vancouver as they try to figure out what step they're going to make next. So it is amazing, when they were winning, there didn't seem to be a problem. As soon as they start losing, now it's all of a sudden a problem again. So I'm sure for Oiler fans and for Edmonton fans listening, this is music to their ears. This is nothing. They're fine with it. But yeah, it's interesting how long it's been going on.
Jay, we love having you on. This is, of course, your second appearance. Well, I thought you said you only had about 10 minutes.
Oh my gosh, this is so fast, guys! It just flew by.
Well, we'll keep talking then. But I'll because I know, because I'll tell you, sometimes I text Jay on the weekend. I'll give that. So on this past Sunday, I texted Jay and I was like, "Hey, buddy, I heard you got a sports highlight show. The two leagues in the United States of America are having their championship games today. You could show some footage. So tonight, Jay, if you wanted." You could lead. See, I know the lingo. You could start your show with the highlights of the game featuring the Toronto Maple Leafs of the National Hockey League. You think they'll get any airplay tonight?
Well, Reid, as you know, it's TSN. So if we weren't supposed to lead with the Leafs, we'll figure out a way to do it. We will figure out a way to do it. Just as this week we had Brian Hayes, radio veteran, on the show. And we, of course, were talking about the fact that Alex Pietrangelo has dropped out of Team Canada for the upcoming Four Nations face-off. And, we discussed that and who Canada might consider to replace him, Evan Bouchard, among others, of course. But we also found a way to somehow spin that subject and make it about Austin Matthews, because that's what we do at TSN. And so we asked whether, with Alex Pietrangelo pulling the chute on this tournament, whether the oft-injured Matthews should do the same. And the answer was no, but I still think it could happen. So yes, Reid, long-winded way of me saying, don't worry, we'll get that Leafs coverage in there for everybody who's starving for it.
I got to. Well, then I got to work. I got to work in an Oilers question, of course. And I know, yes. I know you still love the Oilers. You enjoyed seeing not just the Oilers' success, but the city and the arena and everybody celebrating outside. How are you enjoying? We were talking about this yesterday. They have a 713 points percentage since the start of November. I kind of did a bit yesterday where I said, why are people still finding things to complain about the team? Just enjoy where they are right now. How are you enjoying? It's like, oh yeah, they won again. Oh yeah, they figured it out.
I couldn't agree with you more, Reid. And if anyone forgets, I saw someone post a lineup, of the top four lines and six defensemen and two goalies, from 4 years ago or something like that. It's like, just look at the lineups. How much better the lineup is now. That alone should put everyone in a great mood. It's an exciting time in the city. I couldn't agree with you more, Reid. I hope everyone embraces it and enjoys it. It could be imagine if what's happening in Vancouver was happening to this team right now, but who would it be? Let's speculate. Who would be the two players on the Oilers who would submarine their entire season? Who would that be?
I don't even know. They all seem to get along. Leon would have to be one guy who got mad at another guy.
Okay, so Leon gets mad at someone. Maybe it's not even that he doesn't like them. It's just something happened. So who might play a prank? Maybe Corey Perry, right? Plays some sort of prank on Leon and then it's submarines the whole season. Right? That's not happening.
Yeah, suspect number one.
That's not going to happen, guys.
Suspect number one is on LTIR, and that's Evander Kane.
Oh, that is an excellent.
I didn't even want to go there.
That is an excellent suggestion. He comes back from the Trump inauguration.
Yes.
Someone's a Kamala fan, and it all goes downhill from there or something like that.
Oh, my God. Okay. Well, we better let you go now. What are you on again? What is it like? Is it changes on football? But it's like 10 our time? Midnight Eastern?
Yeah, that's right. 10 Edmonton time. 10 Fort Saskatchewan time, 10 Red Deer time. You got it, Reid. We're on 10 o'clock in Alberta, and I hope everyone tunes in tonight. We're going to have a great show, and I believe we have Craig Button on the show tonight, which should be always. He loves the Oil. I got to say, for a guy who used to be the GM of the Flames, this guy is pro Edmonton all the way. So that's a great reason to tune in.
And he's an EST guy as well. He's on with Dustin and Eric once a week in the morning as well. Hey, buddy, thanks for doing this. It's always a blast. You were on show number 1 of the Reid Wilkins show. This is show number 99. So I guess we got to have you on every 99 shows. We'll figure it out.
I'd love to do it. Reid, Jay, I'm so thrilled for the success you guys have had already, and I hope it continues. Just as I hope someone from Athabasca Town Council was listening to this interview and is quickly drafting an amendment to have that sign changed. And, of course, to change the Main Street to the Jay Onrait Expressway. Look forward to that in the future, folks.
All right. Hi to your family as well, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
All the best, guys.
Jay Onrait from TSN checking in. I wonder now if somebody from the town of Athabasca is going to suggest they name like a crack in a sidewalk after Jay. This just to get them back and keep the humor going. They'll be like, we're going to name this urinal after Jay in the arena. We can't do the whole arena. Here's the Jay Onrait urinal, something like that.
Whispering Hills is a little weak compared to the...
what are the hills whispering? That sounds almost creepy.
Beautiful coming
like
into
if I was out walking though and heard a hill whispering, I'm getting the hell out of those hills.
Yeah, those hills ain't talking to me. Does Jay Onrait get drafted in the Handsome Man draft?
He might now.
I think
that was a great appearance.
I think
he's got a bunch of great stories. I think I heard the kickboxers, but the kickboxer story is one you can hear every couple of years. It'd be like, oh yeah, that's funny. He really teed off on Athabasca.
He went to town,
literally
and
have
figuratively.
Something though about him.
I don't know. This is a national treasure.
He's won Geminis. It's not just you and me like him.
No,
and he's massively popular. They hired him to go to Fox Sports in LA when they launched the station.
That's big. That is big. They should really consider that. Maybe, Reid, you and I can start some sort of a movement.
Should we have somebody from Athabasca on? They'd probably get mad at us.
Yes. Have somebody from the the recreation portion or arm of the council come on the show and let's face the music. Let's talk. We need
let's
answers.
have an honest talk about Jay Onrait being dissed by his hometown. D-Rock says, Reid, what are Skinner's stats since the winning started in November? I've looked that up for you. I have too many tabs, though. I'll just do both goalies. Since the start of November, Stuart Skinner is 17-7-2 with a .909 save percentage and a 2.48 goals against average. Calvin Pickard is 10-3 with a .902 save percentage and a 2.47 goals against average. So almost identical goals against average, and Skinner a slightly better save percentage, and obviously they're both well above 500. So I mean, you'd expect the goalies to have good stats, given that the whole team's doing very well. Oh my, that was fun. Portions of this hour, including the Jay Onrait interview presented by the Canadian Brewhouse. You know, at the Canadian Ice House, they're taking your sports experience to a higher level of ultra cool. TrackMan golf simulators are now open at the Ice House, an immersive and realistic golfing experience in the heart of downtown Edmonton. Visit thecanadianicehouse.com. I was laughing a lot during that interview. That was fun. Oilers practice today, play the Red Wings tomorrow. We are almost at we are on the verge of 150. So if you're just jumping in the nasty chat, or text a couple friends, say, hey, go thumb up these guys and listen to their show, and go back later tonight and listen to the Jay Onrait interview. It's all a bunch of fun. We got the word of the day and some more frivolity when we get back.
Three games live in the NHL with the Wild up 2-0 on the Maple Leafs. Drew Doughty and the Kings down 1-0 to the Panthers, and the Flyers Devils scoreless with all three games with under 5 minutes to go in the first period. And after that, the Hockey Club plays the Penguins and the Canucks meet the Preds. While back in Utah, the Hockey Club has listed their final three names to rebrand the franchise, having the Mammoth, Wasatch, and the Hockey Club as the three finalists. And in Calgary, the Oil Kings challenge the Hitmen. Kelowna hosts Victoria, and Regina faces Prince Albert, seeing 3 games in the WHL. And according to Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network, the Bears are hiring former offensive coordinator of the Jags, Press Taylor, as their passing game coordinator. On the court, the Raptors lead 29-13 on the Wizards. The Pistons are down 40-33. Against the Pacers, while the Nets control the Hornets 28-19, having all three games entering the second quarter. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc. Locally owned and operated since 1993, they're more than just plywood. They offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork with a huge selection of hardwoods and knowledgeable staff. They're here for your DIY needs. Windsor Plywood Leduc, the experts you need to know. The final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show comes on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store, or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
All right. Chilling out, eh? Chilling out with that music. You got to bring it down from the intensity of Jay Onrait. Have you been to Athabasca?
Oh, yeah.
It was probably, I don't know when it was, 4 years ago maybe. I went to the golf course. Fortunately, it was a rainy day, but me and a couple buddies still went golf. That is a nice golf course. They have that
I've heard, yes.
They have a one par 3 that just has a massive drop. It's probably 2 clubs. Well, for me anyway. Like if it's 5-iron distance for whatever it is you're hitting, your 7-iron. And they have a double green, kind of British style. It's one green, but it has 2 flags on it.
Yeah.
It's a huge green.
The one out at the airport there, what's that called? The Red Tail Landing.
Red Tail. Yeah,
they have a shared green.
I think the quarry does as well. Yeah.
That'd be smart. Why not?
Yeah, save the mowing. Well, I guess it's the same mowing. Just I don't know what that meant. I'm not a groundskeeper, everybody.
Aren't you a groundskeeper, really?
Whenever you text us at 780-218-9999, you are using the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. That sounds like a lot of great food deals there at River Cree Resort and Casino. Thank you for rallying, everybody. We're at 159 thumbs, so let's keep pushing. But that does mean we are in double word of the day territory. Should we do them now, or do you want?
Well, yeah,
we might as well do them now.
We can do them now. A lot of people suggesting that would be guest of the year, SD worthy. That appearance from Jay Onrait.
Well, that might be rant of the year, the Athabasca stuff, or is it one of us that wins rant of the year?
Yeah, he would definitely fall into the guest of the year category with that appearance,
but not rant of the year.
Probably not.
That's one of us, or
an employee. It can be anybody. Maybe he can qualify for both.
That could even be controversy of the year, that Athabasca refuses to honor Jay Onrait.
Can you imagine that acceptance speech?
I hope somebody in Athabasca hears this or
I'm sure they will. Reid.
The word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
Thanks, Samuel. What are you doing tonight? Oh, Phase 3 food court again. Okay, cool. They have a Harvey's, don't they? Nice. D-Rock says, is Rito having a little red, LOL? No, I'm having some Coke in this little cup.
Red.
What's the Coke that was brought for the staff meeting yesterday?
Yeah. Before we get to the word of the day, I gotta get this in from Grumpy Cat.
Okay.
Reid, serious question, and maybe for another day. No, for today. Is it okay that I am annoyed cashiers today don't know how to make change? Who wants 3 dimes for 30 cents change?
He wants a quarter and a nickel.
Precisely.
Maybe they didn't have any quarters. Sometimes they don't want to open the.
What if he wanted 6 nickels?
You got to ask for 6 nickels.
Yeah, but what if he's a nickel?
Well, yeah, if I saw 30 cents and I was working a cash register, which I used to at Blockbuster.
Well, it's simple.
I'm getting a quarter and a nickel.
It's less
Unless
work.
somebody says I want 3 dimes. I'm like, okay, here's 3 dimes. But they don't. But they may not want to open
a roll,
because when I do box office at the Fringe, most of the transactions are card, but there will be people who pay cash, especially if it's busy. So if they have an $18 ticket to a Fringe show and they give you a 20 and the toonies aren't open and the loonies are, they will say, do not open the toonies unless you have to.
Sure.
Give them 2 loonies. So that wouldn't be as unusual as getting 3 dimes.
Like well, if you gave them 8 quarters, that would be a little annoying.
Like if you were getting, say, $3 back, say you bought something for $17 and you gave a 20 and you got 3 loonies back instead of a toonie and a loony, that wouldn't annoy me.
That wouldn't annoy me, but 1 loony and 8 quarters would.
That'd be weird. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be egregious. The first word of the day, circuitous.
Oh, I know this. I don't know if I know how to spell it.
Circuitous.
Oh, I know what it means.
Do you? We'll find out.
Circuitous. CIRCUITOUS. And this means taking an indirect or meandering route to your destination. As in saying, while Zach Hyman drives the net, Connor McDavid can take a more circuitous path to score his goals.
Circuitous. If something such as a path, route, or journey is described as circuitous, it is not straight, short, and direct, but rather takes a circular or winding course. He took a circuitous route to town, stopping at several of his favorite shops, even though it added minutes and miles to his trip.
Okay, pause. I got to answer T-Man's post in the Nasty Chat because I kind of had this in the back of my mind as something to possibly talk about today.
Sure.
T-Man says, what do you guys think of Mark Stone's knee takeout on Heiskanen? McDavid had his suspension, so does Stone get one? Nope. And Marchand for taking his glove off and trying to choke a guy. We talked about the Marchand thing. Did you see the Stone?
I did.
It's, to me, that's cheap. I know, he's reaching for the puck. But he's reaching for the puck down low and putting his arm into the other guy's knee. Like, it's tripping.
So do you think he could have avoided that?
Yes, and I think it's one of those plays that's an unusual play.
Well, he got tripped.
It's certainly not maybe flat out dirty, but I think Stone knows he's doing something kind of cheesy, and it's one of those where a guy's like, oh, I'll just do this. If I hurt him, I don't care. That's what I think. I didn't like it.
Is there a report out? Like, do we know what happened?
I don't think I didn't see. Well, he's hurt. I don't know what the update is. He is. Hang on.
And has the NHL already stated that they will be having a hearing about this?
I don't think there's anything.
I think the general thought was that Stone was tripped and was falling, kind of in the heat of the play. It was just falling because he had a stick in his feet. But on the replay, when you look at it, it would suggest that, maybe a person could have.
I want to watch this again here. No, he's just watching a Dallas Stars podcast here with Craig Ludwig. Remember him? He blocked a lot of shots.
Ludwig.
He had those big phone book knee pads. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, guys. I think, and I mean, look,
it is. I mean, it's easier to say in slow motion, but he sure didn't do anything to try and elude that and try to move. It's almost like, it's like when you look at it and you chop it up, it's like he dove into his knee.
Yeah, like I don't like that play. And you're saying Stone was tripped prior to that?
Yes, that's how it was reported.
Okay,
that Mark Stone was.
This highlight doesn't go back far enough. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that play. I think it's kind of a bit of a dangerous play to go down low on somebody's knee like that. So, but that was a big theme.
Well, what are you doing? Why are you going down?
Yeah,
why? There's no need for him to go down like that hard.
Matt Hyman says it's a dangerous play. T-Man says he lunged at his legs. And Big Uke says Hintz barely touches Stone's foot. Yeah.
He barely did touch his foot. It would, and maybe he was trying to sell the trip. But
it is weird. And look, McDavid cross-checked a guy in the head. It's a penalty. It's a suspension. But why is Brad Marchand... Oh, isn't that cute? He took his glove off and choked a kid, or he even not choked, like put his hand on another guy's neck. Like we had a text the day after McDavid said, and didn't somebody write in and say I'm a minor hockey coach, or no, I'm a parent. Like how can I tell my kids to play like McDavid?
Yep,
fair enough.
Well,
how can you tell your kids do what Marchand does? He does this crazy stuff that's not even part of the play, like licking guys and anyway. And you wouldn't tell a kid, hey, if you're beaten, dive at the guy's legs. I know you might say sometimes you got to dive at the puck, but to me, he has no chance to get the puck. He's diving into the leg. Oh, yeah, Kub's got it. Yeah, I saw it. I don't think I saw it last night. No, I watched it this morning. I know the puck is sort of there, but he really just kind of goes into the leg. I didn't like that one. No, I'm not saying that should be a suspension, but I do think it's kind of a cheap play.
Well, and that's one of those things. How do you suspend that?
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing definitive there. I get it. The optics of it are quite bad. But that wasn't definitively a tripping penalty that sent him in.
But I don't like it. Yeah. We're in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com is their website. Book your private consultation today. Word number 2 for word of the day.
Word number 2, Reid. Fulminate. Fulminate.
Oh, I've heard this word, and I don't know what it means, but I think it's pretty easy to spell. Fulminate. Fulminate. I've seen this word. And I can't...
I think you can talk your way through this.
Fulminate. Okay, well...
This is a verb.
To me... Okay, so if I see ate, like ATE at the end of a word, then to me it's like part of a process or taking an action, like to activate or to debate or something like that. So is it sort of related to the process of something? Or
yes.
But I don't know what the fulmin part of it would mean. I can't think of that. Fulminate. It doesn't remind me of anything. I can't think of what the root word would be or what words might be put together. Fulminate. Would that be like to ruminate is sort of to mull over something, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But this is not like that, though.
I didn't say yay or nay.
Fulminate would be... I feel as at one point I knew the definition of this word, or I read it and I've looked it up. And now I can't remember. Fulminate, I will say to strongly consider options in life. I don't know. That's all.
Post, you were... What was the word you said?
Ruminate.
Ruminate?
It is like ruminate?
Yeah. To fulminate is to complain loudly or angrily about something. The editorial fulminated against the corruption in the state government that has been recently uncovered.
Oh, I see. So we have had people fulminate about Connor Garland's behavior. Oh, thanks, Dingy. You're a little dingy. That's our little dog. That's little Jingles.
What do you got going on tonight, Reid?
Little Jingles.
You gonna go play with little Jingles?
Gonna go. Yeah, make sure his stomach's doing okay.
Yeah.
After that big Christmas that you had a month ago. Oh my goodness. Okay. What else do we have going on? Let's just quickly check the scores. Wild up 2-0 on the Maple Leafs after 1. Panthers leading the Kings 1-0 after 1. Also, first intermission, Flyers and Devils scoreless. 7 o'clock, Canucks at Predators. And 7:30, Penguins at Utah Hockey Club. They have given... What are the finalists for the names? For the name? Koob, Utah Hockey Club, Utah Mammoth, and what's the last one? Wasatch?
Wasatch.
Or which is a mountain range. Wasatch. Hopefully they don't go with that. If we can't say it, well, maybe they don't care if we can say it or not. Or maybe they do.
I can't see it.
We have a game day tomorrow, so we'll have a tee-up of the Oilers and the Red Wings. And, of course, at 6 o'clock tomorrow, the Oil Stream GCL Diesel pregame show with Tom and Hernan. Our live programming resumes on the stream at 6 a.m. with the Nielsen Show. Big thanks to Zachary Kubusch, our technical producer and sports update deliverer. On behalf of the glue guy, Jay Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins. Thanks for checking out the show.
Talk delivers a mass audience of key influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf. Oh, sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.